love you for 1,000 more. And all along I believed I'd find you. And time has brought your heart to me. I've loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. One step closer. One step closer.
Nalamin nga agsapa again, ma'am and sir. I hope you are keeping yourself safe, tuloy. Yourself warm. We're currently experiencing the wrath of Typhoon Kinta, and luckily in northern Luzon, at least angin-angin lang ti marikrik na tayo, unlike in the Visayas and in southern part of Luzon that they are experiencing signal number 3. So ako po muna yung shoot Fasi for this minute kasi narinig ba ako? Akala ko wala. So in a short, we are promising this in a short while because Ma'am Angie is still in the flag raising. In a short while, we are going to start the third day of the training. So again, we ask for a little patience po, Ma'am and Sir. Thank you.
Sarap pa lang natin. Umilat ako man. Yeah.
Hindi lang magsura.
Apa mo mangog ko?
Nai-ready ka pa yung dinay.
Nagpabanggad ka?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Am I heard? Am I being heard? Good morning.
Yes, Ma'am Julie.
Yes.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. Okay. So, magandang buhay sa ating lahat, no? Wherever you are, wherever we are, we thank God because we are still here. We are still maganda pa rin ang ating nararamdaman and we are attending this webinar, no? The third day of our regional training of school heads and teachers on the inclusion of ALS in the SBM, the secondary level, batch 1. Okay, so can we start, Sir Rex, with our nationalistic song followed by our prayer? Okay, thank you so much, Sir Rex, for that. Okay, ayan. Okay, we are now on the third day of our training, and um, sana okay tayong lahat sa kinaroroonan natin, okay yung ating signal, no, ang internet connection natin, so that we will be able to finish this day. I mean, the activities that we have set for today. Okay, now um, for this. It is time. No, I mean we will just review you on what we have finished last week. So we just finished. I mean we finished the Chismax on Sia. That was our first activity last Friday, and after that, um, meron tayong natapos natin ang walkthrough on ABL or FLT, and then the technical assistance tool, the walkthrough on assessment and RPL forms. We also had the portfolio, and then uh, the situationer of ALS in the Cordillera given by Ma'am Angie. And of course, she also presented the template for our action plan. And now, or today, this morning, we will also listen to one of our colleagues, no, in the alternative learning system. Uh, she will be talking about the daily daily lesson log or weekly learning log, or we also have the work home learning plan, weekly I should say home learning plan, and then the integration of learning competencies. This is, I mean, we will be having orientation about these things. And may we invite the District ALS Coordinator of ATOC, Ma'am LD Pasio.
Yeah. Thank you, Ma'am Juliet. Good morning, everyone. So once again, we will be joining each other as we journey together at matapos din po yung ating three-day training. Ayan. So, nakakatakot po yung mga ulan, hindi naman umuulan, kaya lang it's really actually very windy as of this time, but we hope that nanariyan pa po ang ating mga signal, hindi po nalilipad. Okay? So maraming salamat at naririyan pa po kayo together with us. So we will be sharing po yung ating DLL. How is it done in alternative learning system way? At sana po ay mabigyan natin ng hustisya, mabigyan ng hustisya ang naibigay po sa atin na topic po natin for today. Okay, Ma'am Juliet, nakikita na po ba yung ating screen? Yeah, meron na? Okay, yeah, all right. So, Ma'am Lorraine, is our screen kita?
Yes, Ma'am LD.
Yes, thank you po. So, kayo po naman, hindi bago po sa inyo ito since we are anchored with same DepEd order, which is DepEd order number 42 series 2016, and alternative learning system has also been there, even the template to be used. However, we believe na we would have also to give some tawag po nito, some sort of orientation para po medyo makita din natin paano nga ba nagagawa yung ating plan in the alternative learning system context. So, mood meter, sabi po dito, what color would best describe your feelings or mood right now? So, siguro po, kunting share lang, we can use our chat box para sa ganun po malaman po natin ano pong color ang magdi-describe po ng ating feelings or mood right now. So Ma'am Juliet will be with us to read your comments, whatever be ang naririyan po. So color naman po ang sasabihin natin. Sige na po. Mabilisan lang.
Okay, sabi ni Ma'am Juna, peach daw.
Peach.
Wait.
Aha. Wow. So bakit po kaya? Bakit po kaya ganun po ang kulay ng kanyang feelings or mood right now? Ang sarap sana po kung ma-explain din po niya, ano po?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Sabi naman ni Ma'am, Sinipsip kasi ito eh, Sinipsip National High School. White daw. White.
White. Parang nakaka-relate ako dyan, Ma'am Juliet. Siguro doon sa part na yun, it's ano talaga siya. Ulap ang nakikita niya, kaya white ang color niya for the day. Sana tama po ako sa school heads natin. Sa Philippines.
Yeah, sabi po niya, white ma'am kasi may foggy dito sa amin. Tama nga po ang sabi niyo.
Sabi ko na nga po eh, sanay na tayo dyan pag napapadaan, ganun ang kulay ng paligid. Okay,
Sabi
meron pa po.
Si Ma'am Juna, Ma'am LD, sabi niya, yung nagsabi ng peach kanina, despite the weather, looking for the bright side of everything. Kaya peach ang nasulat niya.
Okay. I learned something, Ma'am Juliet. If you want to look on the bright side of life, you have to have the color peach.
Okay, yun nga eh. Oo.
Okay po, sige po.
Sabi naman ni Ma'am Marifi, ay, okay, naligaw daw siya. Si Sir Rodriguez Belino, blue.
Nakikita kaya niyo yung sky na blue? Sige, baka bubong lang yung nakikita niyo dun sa office nila eh. Okay, sige po.
Si Ma'am Anasita, red. Si Ma'am Daos, yellow, means happy despite the weather we have. Sabi naman ni Ma'am Daos.
Wow, thank you for that. So encouraging for the moment. Yes. So kahit po na bagyo sa ibang parte ng Pilipinas, we still have our color modes and it will tell us that kahit pa paano, nandyan pa rin po tayo. Okay? In the service pa rin po tayo. So thank you for the participation, dear school heads, master teachers, and fellow ALS implementers. As of this moment, sige po, tuloy na po tayo sa ating journey. Okay? So, ayan. Ano na kaya ang susunod dito? Ito po yung ating inaasahan sa atin pong paglakbay sa isang oras na ating pong pag-uusapan ang tungkol sa learning, sa ating daily learning log, sa alternative learning system. Okay? So nandyan na, may active participation, nandyan na nakikita rin po natin ang ating respect, yan, and connectivity, and then documentation, and the exchange of questions and ideas, and we will look into that more later. Okay. So sabi po dito, ng isa po nating saying, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Okay, Ma'am Juliet? A goal without a plan is just a wish. So it means if we are wishing upon a star, parang we are having a goal without a plan, ganun po ba yun? Anyway, so sabi naman po natin, being educators, pag sinabi a goal without a plan is just a wish, we will have to see it kung bakit po ito yung ating nabanggit na pambungad po natin sa ating pag-uusapan. So this will be the objectives of this session. So differentiate daily, weekly lesson log from a detailed lesson plan, the steps, and then the importance, and then the preparation of the integrated or contextualized, indigenized, localized, blended learning weekly lesson log in the alternative learning system aspect. Okay, move on na po tayo. Sabi po dito, it's game time. Kaya lang, hindi po natin ito masyadong mai-enjoy pag yung iba po sa atin, medyo nalilipad ang kanilang signal. So, this will just go po if ever na pag sa iba siguro po na panahon, hindi yung sa ngayon. Kasi marami pong nag-message po sa atin na hindi okay yung kanilang signal. So yung game po actually is about the parts of the lesson plan. Pero siguro on the part of the school heads and of our master teachers and as teachers, we are very much familiar of all those na bahagi ng ating DLL or WLL. So sabi po dito, as a teacher, yan, ano po yung ating nakikita? Of course, we know na ano yung una, ano yung pangalawa na dapat po nating makita. Kasi sa bahagi ng mga school heads, we believe na memoryado na po ninyo yan because that is what you observe from time to time and of course, so as with the master teachers. So, nung na-present po natin ito sa ating mga fellow ALS implementer, ito rin po yung laman po ng ating presentation. Pero in our discussion with them, talaga po detailed way kasi nga po kami po being implementers yung gagawa nito. So we've been talking on why do we prepare lesson plan, what is the difference between the DLL, the WLL, and the detailed lesson plan or the DLP, and then of course the sample, what should be written, and how to write WLL for multi-level group of including the integration and contextualization. Now, these things are not new to you, but since you will be giving technical assistance po sa ating mga ALS implementers, at least we also have to share with you ano po ba yung mga makikita natin or expected na makikita natin sa mga WLL, sa weekly lesson log o kaya ay sa weekly home learning plan ng ating mga ALS implementers. Kasi may siguro po parehas po yung mga bahagi, kaya lang may mga adjustment lang po na makikita natin doon na kinakailangan lang po unawain on the part of alternative learning system. So ito po yung binibigyan natin ng hello po, kaya meron tayong mga kasama dito. Binibigyan po natin ng emphasis para magkakaunawaan po tayo since school heads and master teachers are also giving pangalan nito, assistance, or they will also be observing yung delivery ng lesson doon sa ating pong mga community learning centers. Ayun po. So, ito po, we will be presented, yung sabi nga po natin, ALS teachers have to prepare, lesson plan since it is also a way of planning our instruction. Though, mahirap po. In the part of the alternative learning system, kahit po sabi natin na pandemic ngayon, kami po iba po yung aming pamamaraan din kasi nga different levels, different na community learning centers, medyo kahirapan po yung adjustment dito. And this is where technical assistance comes in. Kasi kapag once na hindi po na-plan pa rin po yung pagtuturo ng isang teacher, hindi rin naman po ganun kadali na yung inaasahan nating competencies, kung sa formal school po yung ating mga milk ay hindi po kaagad or hindi masyado deliver po ng maayos. Okay? So, while also as teachers have to prepare their lesson plan, of course, we have our RPMS. So preparing lesson plan is one of the core functions of a teacher, of course, and then WLL is a very useful MOV for classroom observation or what we call the COT. I'm not sure po, siguro may mga observe na po ng ng lesson or klase ng ating mga ALS teachers. Baka pwede po kayo mag-share mga ma'am and sir if ever, so we could also welcome you and we can also hear from you po. Your experience about that is a very good input amin. Anyone from the group po?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes po.
This is this is Aquino from National High School.
Yes.
Since you are asking if any of the school head observed,
Yes po.
tried observe or had an experience observing
Yes,
ALS
ma'am.
learners in the CLC. Yes, ma'am,
Mm-mm.
I have done it mga twice.
Yes,
And the
ma'am.
one thing that I noticed is
Hindi,
that
ma'am. Na?
Mm-hmm.
they are
Ay,
many of the
send
learners
ko pa niya, ma'am.
are
Ganyan na.
very shy.
Zoom.
Parang they
Yes.
feel inferior
Sabi ng panatin na.
Mm-mm.
Pang-send ako sa
after
Facebook ko.
after the
Princess
lesson,
Email
after
na.
the observation,
Kontak ako ng iba.
I asked if I could share after a
Mm-mm.
few minutes to the
Yes,
ALS
ma'am.
teacher, and he willingly give me the opportunity. So
Mm-mm.
there, I try
Mm-mm.
to encourage them that
Yes
being
po.
an ALS learner is not something to be shy, to be, yes, but
Mm-mm.
they should be very thankful because when they will be able to, they learn something, they will be able to pass the A&E exam. There are many benefits that they will get from being an ALS graduate.
Yes po.
Imbaga kami ang DJ benefits na. And
Yes,
then
ma'am.
I cited, kasi ada kami training ni EJ Kwakay. There in Asin, where is that? We're
Mm-hmm.
in nag-share. Ada nag-share EJ, if I'm not mistaken ni Ma'am SDS, wherein
Opo.
ALS graduates can also be very, very successful.
Mm-hmm.
The same as those who graduated in formal school. So nagitid kami ti
Yes.
sample ang diyan naka-abroad, those who have established their
Mm-mm.
business because they have their diploma, they were able to go abroad and they were very, very successful. And many
Yes, ma'am.
others got di ti pakakita ang you need to boost their self-confidence. It
Yes
might
po.
not agkakatawa da piman ijay. So di tin kalangan nadlaw ko. So one way nga kasla nga kahit ko nga ma-lift up the self-confidence na. So I help the
Mm-mm.
teacher. Although my ALS teacher is very good, but siyempre
Mm-mm.
coming from SBM akat, iba na yung nagre-reinforce tayo. So I
Yes.
think that is, may diyan ti may nga simple nga experience ko to lift up the self-confidence of the ALS. Diagarod, if I remember, wangay idilas ko anya ka dijay saying ALS is secondary. Ano ba yung? I
Ah.
forgot na din. I have to go over
Second.
my notes.
Yes po.
It should not
Second
be.
chance is not always a second class
Yeah.
subject.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. So that is so maybe the as a supporter of our ALS teacher, maybe that is the least that we can do to them nga i-boost up tayo ti confidence
Na.
na gitunay ALS learners. Yun lang po, ma'am.
Yung Zoom
Wow.
kayo dito, Kevin?
Yes po. Thank you so much, ma'am. So
Kadi
that
more nga they
is
will be inspired. Kat na-inspired naman the way I look at them, nag-increase accordingly. Parang nag-increase ka no ti attendance naman kung piman ni sir nga pa, ni teacher da.
yes po.
That's all,
Wow.
that's all. Para others naman will share.
Yes, ma'am. So that encouragement for our ALS learners is really very appreciated po. Sige po, before we baka meron pa pong gusto pong share. Anyone from our school heads or master teachers, we are encouraged po para po at least makita din po natin ang ano po yung naging experience in your observations po sa ating mga kasama pong mga ALS implementers. Okay. Wala na po ba? Or if not, we could also use our chat box po.
Pinimom din niya dito.
Okay, so wala na. Si Ma'am lang po kanina nag-share. All right, so at least there were already having participation po on what to observe about sa ating okay. So, tine-check lang po natin yung ating mga nasa chat box para makita po natin kaagad. When it comes sa facing our ALS learners, meron po talagang emphasis on the values part. It is boosting their confidence kasi alam po natin na these learners are having a background na minsan po yun yung dahilan ng kanilang mga pagdadrop sa school. That is the reason why pag makikita po natin yung ating competencies sa alternative learning system, marami po tayong mga bagay doon na pinag-uusapan about self, about values, about personal growth. Yung una pa rin po naming module sa alternative learning system in the life skills is personal development, which is anchored doon sa ating learning strand 4, which is life and career, and then doon sa ating learning strand 5, which is understanding the self and community. So, iyon po yung ating mga bagay na tinitingnan. Katulad po nung sinabi ni Ma'am kanina, na kapag dating po talaga sa mga ating mga ALS learners, parang sila. So, we have to be mindful na itong mga ating mga learners, kadalasan, they were those who were out in the formal school system at kinakailangan ng maraming adjustment pagdating po doon sa pagpasok po nila sa ALS. Kaya nga po, sabi natin, alternative learning system, since yung tanong nga po natin during our series of training, sabi po natin sa ating mga kasamahan na ALS teachers, why are we called alternative? It is because after one alternative, we find another alternative. We find more and more alternatives so that at po kung ano po talaga yung pangangailangan ni learner. At pati po sa preparation ng ating WLL, at least carried po yan. So, kaya po, siguro po, dito na sasabihin na natin diretso, dito na, kailangan talaga na matulungan natin ang ating mga ALS implementers since hindi po ganun kadali na mag-prepare din sila ng na part ng WLL na at least magkakasunod-sunod or magkaka-relate yung kanilang lesson. I have to be honest po sa inyo, dear school heads, master teachers, and fellow ALS implementer, na sa series po ng ating training, when we were introduced to have really a more formal, hindi ko alam kung tama po yung ating pero yung para maka-prepare po tayo ng lesson po natin, meron po sa amin din na mga ALS implementers ang nahihirapan sa pag-prepare po nito since natapos po natin nung last yung tawag nito, yung ating usapan sa SLT, yung functionality risk test, yung ating usapan tungkol sa ALS forms, yung ating RPL assessment, yung portfolio natin. Actually, lahat yun i-consider po namin in the preparation of our WLL. Kapag hindi po nalilid si ALS teacher kung paano niya ililink lahat ang mga ito, nahilo na rin po siya sa lesson niya. Kasi sabi ko nga po, nakita rin natin yan na noong nagpa-prepare tayo and we introduce the integration, may mga times na lahat may 10 competency. May mga 10 competency na nandoon na hindi na develop along the process of the lesson. At iyon po ang kinakailangan din po natin na i-assist sa ating mga teachers para para po sige lang.
Paano kayo mat-agwit school med andan abad sa tawataw.
May naka-on po yung may naka-on po ang microphone.
Ay, ko kayo na eh.
Hello po. Padaan lang po sandali.
Kalingga yan.
Paki-off po muna yung microphone po natin para makapagpatuloy po tayo. Hayaan niyo po muna ako ng a little time. Thank you. Okay? Yung sinasabi natin, po kanina, na kailangan talaga na matulungan natin yung ating mga teachers. So sabi ni Ma'am Marifedit, at least when we have the lesson plan, we have guide to follow on where our student is or we know where our target is. Yes po, yan po yung talaga nating tinitingnan. So let's move on. Okay. Ayan, bakit ayaw nang mag-move? Ayan. So, of course, sabi natin, experts agree that a plan should aim to address the following questions. Yes. Sa ating WLL, sabi po natin, what should and how should it be taught? And then, how should learning be assessed? So, of course, katulad po ng lagi nating binabanggit throughout the training na dadaanan po natin, plan will always have the content, and then it will always have the process, how should be taught, and then how should learning be assessed. That is, we also have the assessment. So, ongoing din po yung ating upskilling, ano po, and that is where our assessment are being tried kung paano natin gawin. Okay, sige. Baka sige lang. Let's move, go lang po tayo. Sinuulit po natin, what should be taught, how should it be taught, and how should learning be assessed. Ito po yung kailangan din po na makita actual ng ating mga fellow ALS implementers, ano yung content, ano yung process, at paano po yung assessment. Though inuulit po natin, sa alternative learning system, we are not giving grades, but we are also giving assessment kung ano po yung kaya nung ating mga mag-aaral. Napaka-learning centered po tayo. Imagine yung FLT, yung Functional Literacy Test, doon po natin nakikita saan mahina yung bata. Kaya wag po tayong magtaka, bakit na parang ang gaan-gaan ng kanilang mga ginagawa. Hindi sa totoo lang po magaan. Kasi tinitingnan lang po natin kung saan dapat natin simulan, kung saan dapat po natin i-bridge, bigyan ng tulay yung mga kulang sa ating mga learners. Pero syempre, kung mapapansin po natin, yung katulad po ng sinabi natin kanina, ang unang-una po nating binibigyan ng emphasis sa ALS is the confidence and the values part ng ating mga learners. Kasi po, kung sa akin lang, being an ALS implementer myself, kapag na-build na po natin yung right na understanding ng isang pag-aaral towards education, nakita nyo yung importance, magsisikap po yan kahit mahirap. Ano po? So those are the reality. Kasi naman po tayo, sa ating mga sarili mismo, naintindihan natin na mapa-signal number 3, mapa-signal number 2, nandun pa rin po tayo nagtatrabaho kasi alam natin na sinumpaan po natin yan. Nanumpa tayo na magtatrabaho tayo anuman ang uri ng panahon. So just like the same, just like with our learners din po. Okay? So of course, this is already written in the DepEd order. What is all about DLL or weekly learning log? Siyempre, ang inaano po natin, we have also to know the difference between log and detailed. I think we will not give much time for this kasi for sure nababasa na rin po natin yan sa ating DepEd order. Wala pa rin pong pagbabago because wala pa rin nagsasabi na nabago yung ating DepEd order na yan. So, diretso na po tayo dito. Kung hindi pa po natin napansin, our sample template for a weekly lesson log for the ALS teachers is the Annex 2D to DepEd order number 42. So iyan po, parehas naman po yung content. Kaya nga lang, I have to be reminded or parang inaalala ko na depende nga lang po tayo sa mga divisions. May mga iba na mayroon silang ganitong usapan sa division nila. Meron din naman kung parang na-release na order sa kanilang mga district na ganito yung gagawin nila. So long as hindi po nalalayo kung ano po yung sinasabi natin sa ating DepEd order. Kasi nasa Pilipinas pa rin naman po tayo at hindi po sanay ibang lugar na or ibang republic. Okay? Sabi niya, okay. Ma'am, for else they will make DLL not weekly home learning plans. Ay, okay, sige po. For ALS teachers, they will make DLL. Hindi, a while back, dinidiscuss lang po natin kung ano yung mga kahalagahan ng paggawa ng ALS teacher. But for us ALS teacher, we are actually working with our weekly learning log. Nauna na po kami na nagwi-weekly learning log. Ngayon po, na blended learning na rin po tayo, at least ang formal school, nandyan na rin sa weekly home learning plan. Pero alternative learning system, since pa po, still work ng weekly learning plan po natin. Ano po? So hindi po DLL ang ginagamit ni ALS kasi po mahirap. Kung ako po, halimbawa, because I am also an implementer, kapag daily po ang gawaan namin ng lesson, nahihirapan po ako. Kasi in my case, magta-travel pa po ako, and I have a lot of CLC, community learning centers. Mahirap on my part na daily yung aking gagawin. Because iba-iba yung ating mga learners. Kasi may proseso po tayo na ginagawa. Hindi po kami basta-basta gumagawa ng aming weekly lesson log. Kaya nga po ito po yung challenge po natin sa ating mga fellow implementers na sana pag nandyan yung kanilang mga school head, ang maganda pong gawin is kunin po natin yung mga resources. Andyan yung FLP, nandyan si RPL, nandyan ang assessment form, tapos tingnan po yung mga common sa kanila pong mga mag-aaral at iyon ang ito-prepare po nila ng weekly lesson log. Remember po sa alternative learning system ay ganito po siya. Kung may basic literacy, ibang yan. May lower elementary, ibang preparation yan. May advanced elementary, ibang preparation yan. May lower secondary, ibang preparation. May advanced secondary, ibang preparation. Or yung junior high school. Tapos iba pa yung mga learners natin na kinikita na iba-iba yung kanilang mga ng learning. So hindi po talaga ganun kadali on our part being implementers kasi lahat yan kung sa formal school ang kinder ay sa kinder lang siya nakatutok, ang grade 1 ay grade 1 teacher po yan, hindi po. Sa alternative learning system, lahat po ng level from grade 1 to junior high school, grade 10 ay hawak ni ALS teacher. Kaya yun din po ang ating pinapakiusap na talagang kailangan ang technical assistance. Ngayon, sa susunod po nating presentation, titingnan po natin. Ako po. Asan na? I hope it works. Okay. So, sa atin din, sabi nga natin, lesson log. Kaya sana po maunawaan natin, kung makikita natin yung ating mga teachers, na log po talaga ang ginagawa. Okay? Okay. So, hindi po na po tayo masyado sa definition. Kasi marunong na po tayo dyan. Okay. So, ito po, kung nakikita natin, titingnan natin ang difference. Pag sa kindergarten ay yan po, okay, iba may template po. Pero ang template ng ALS at saka mga multi-grade, yun ang medyo magkalapit. Ano po, kasi nga multi ang ating learner. Pero pag makikita natin, kung iyan ang kindergarten, grades 1 to 12 na DLL, nandyan din ang multi-grade, and then yan po sa alternative learning system. Pansin po natin, may week number siya. So yun po yung pagkakaiba. So I hope na we are being clarified po dito. So ganito po yung ating sample. Ito po yung ating sample na DLL. Okay? So ito kasi yung ating nabigay na example from our national level. So yun din po yung i-relay po natin sa inyo. Pansin po natin, nandyan din ang parts ng DLL, nandyan din yung content standard. So ito rin po yung mahalaga po. I hope na we could also or at times nakita na rin po ninyo ang competencies, ang ating ALS curriculum para kung ano po yung pinag-uusapan natin dito ay nakita nyo na rin po. Kasi for alternative learning system, katulad ng nabanggit previously, we have learning strand 1, English, and Filipino. We have learning strand 2 that will be on science, Learning strand 3, that is math. 4, that life and career. 5, understanding the self and society. Kung kumbaga sa formal school, that is your aralpan and values education. Yung LS4 is our TLE, EPP, ano pa? Basta yung mga livelihood skills po natin. LS6, ito na po yung ating sample. Ang LS6 po natin is on digital citizenship. So, kung sana makakagawa din po yung ating mga implementers ng DLL din. So ito yung halimbawa, nakikita po natin sa screen, Learning Strand 6, yan po yung halimbawa ng ating as presented ng curriculum po natin sa digital citizenship. Okay. Yan na po kung paano siya na-develop din. So, in ALS, we are using the 4 activity, analysis, abstraction, and the application. Bakit po kaya? Bakit po kaya nasa alternative learning system practice the 4A cycle? This is because sa ating community learning center, halo po ang nandyan. We do 4As. For the activity, alam na po natin, makikita natin ano yung performance natin. Sabi nga po natin, learning-centered po tayo. So we try to involve. We try to involve yung ating mga learners. Hindi po yung puro style na ano. So, katulad nung sabi kanina nang nag-share, encouragement na mag-participate. So, 4As ang ating approach. One reason is adult po yung ating learners. At saka usually, ito yung mga learners natin, nakikita natin na kailangan sila yung talagang kailangan gumawa ng paraan na hindi sana boring yung kanilang mga lesson. Kaya po, siguro baka nakikita nyo, bakit nandun sila sa waiting shed? Bakit nandun sila sa kung saan? Well, sabi nga po natin, learning takes anywhere, anytime. Though kailangan din pa rin po nating maging maiano sa school, may angkor sa school yung ating learning centers, so as ma-feel natin yung formal way din ng ating pag-aaral. But pag yung mga leeways, yung mga times na parang kailangan dun sa labas para po matuto, it is also important para hindi po natin napukulong yung learning experience po ng ating mga learners. So, iyan po yung ating mga samples. Ang example po na nakikita natin dito on the process part ay from the module. So, I hope sa ating learning centers, nakikita na po natin yung mga modules na provided from the national kasi may mga dumating naman po and we hope na rin sa ating mga learning centers ng mga kasama natin. Yan. Ini-emphasize dyan yung week because ALS will really have to work with weekly learning lag. Yan. And of course, expected din na remarks and reflection would be accomplished. So, nasama pa rin po yung tungkol sa mga ibang details dito. But as was said earlier, this is directly lifted from our order. Even with giving on assignments, I think may bago na rin po dito. Okay? So we're just saying here also na mahalaga naman po na yung mga observations ni teacher ay maisulat niya. So I tried also this and trying to reflect kung ano mga ba talaga ang gagawin. Okay? Sabi ko dito, it should be filled out right away. Pero sige, nasa assignment na po ni ALS teacher at saka ng kanyang school head or ng kanyang observer kung paano po ito gagawin. Lalong-lalo na pag he has to travel for a day to reach one CLC and teach and then go back after another day. Ayan. So siguro ito po yung mga adjustment na kinakailangan. Kasi lalong-lalo na pag it requires travel. Ito na po yung medyo issue sa amin ng mga implementers kasi maraming nagtatanong na apay ngay nga kas ano ngay nga road nga ag lesson isu na biman alangan ba't nga pag-travelan tayo terapi tapos agsuro ti aldaw agsublima ng terapi ay sus narigaton. Okay, so yun naman po the importance of our reflection. Ayan. So I hope na I was assuming pa rin na may mga nakikinig dyan, kaya salita ako ng salita dito, Ma'am Lorraine, ha? Okay, so ito yung gusto lang nating i-emphasize yung mga mahalaga po na kailangan lang maunawaan when it comes to alternative learning system. So, sabi po dito, with this kind of preparation of WLL, will your learners be able to meet the minimum required competencies in 2 years? Bakit sabi po dito 2 years ang sinasabi? Kasi nga hindi nga po natin sigurado kung yung bata pag nag-enroll yan, kaya po ba niya in the first year? Baka it might naman kailangan i-extend pa rin. So, ito po yung ating diagram. So, these are the CLCs. And then the completers, the minimum required competencies over 2 years. How will we meet those? So medyo complicated po siguro ito sa atin kung ngayon lang po natin narinig. So in writing, ang weekly learning log, ini-emphasize po natin, ang weekly learning log ng ating mga ALS teachers, ito po, syempre, level of the learners. Susunod, individual learning agreement. If we were present in the previous days ng ating training, we've been introduced ano yung ILA. Yung ILA, ito po nakikita natin, ano ba yung mga sinabi ni learner na gusto niyang mapag-aralan. Yung nakita po natin along the way during the interview and the process of assessment doon sa bata or doon sa learner na kailangan niyang matutunan. And then, the RPL or the review of your learning. Ito yung hihingi po ninyo ng mga forms that we are trying to put into one para minsanan po ma-send sa mga email ads po ninyo. And then, contextualization, the localization, indigenization, and the integration. Where, ito yung nabanggit natin kanina na kailangan talaga makita natin because ito rin yung nakita natin na mahalaga on the part of the teacher and the learner. Since most of our learners are in the community, ano po, also have to help them understand what is in the locality, the norms accepted in the locality. Mahalaga po yung ating localization, yung ating indigenization, and the integration. Ano po yung basis natin within the community, towards the country, and then the world. So, yun po yung lagi nating tinitingnan para makita po natin. Actually, in my own community, nakikita ko kung may mga calamities, ang unang lumalabas dyan, yung ating mga ALS learners, nandun sila na tumulong. Pero pagdating sa mga skills, pagdating sa academic, hindi po sila masyadong nakakaunawa, but they are there. Now, yun po yung ating tinitingnan na kailangan ipaunawa natin the local things, the indigenous things, and how should this be integrated, these values, this learning, even in the outside na ginagalawan po nila. So yan po, yung ating tinitingnan, yun yung kinoconsider ni teacher sa preparation ng kanyang weekly learning lab, the level, the ILA, the RPL, and the contextualization. So, for example, ito ang ginagit, sinabi po nila is the Pag-asa CLC. Ayan. Okay. So halimbawa, sa isang teacher, one CLC, meron siyang 2 lower elementary, 7 advanced elementary, and 3 junior high school. Para i-address po natin yan, kailangan mag-multi-level teaching si teacher. Ano yung kanyang pwedeng LS3? Math po yan. And one of our result ng ating mga interview na ihirapan niyo po yung ating mga learners is on math. Okay, maliban lang itong kasama natin dito, ano, Ma'am Lorraine, kasi mas major yan. Baka nasana yung kanyang mga learners na magagaling na sa math. But in my case, baka mas more on language. Alright? So, ang in-integrate niya doon sa LS3 is LS4. Pero, ano po yung kanyang mga kinonsider, yung kanilang FLT, yung kanilang ILA, yung RPL. So ito yung sinasabi natin kanina. Dapat din na tinitingnan lahat ni teacher ano yung hindi nagkakalayo or ano yung magkakasama na mga competencies na kailangan niyang dalhin doon para mai-address niya yung pangangailangan ng different levels ng kanyang learners in a way na maibibigay niya through the differentiated instructions. Okay? So, ganun po. Kadali. Hindi ko alam kung talagang madali. Pero ganun po talaga yung setup po sana ng isang learning center. So, kapag nakikita natin na medyo kwentuhan lang yung nangyayari doon, actually, yung technique natin, nakikita natin ano yung applicable doon. So that is the reality in one's CL sa mga community po. So when it comes naman po sa ating contextualization, of course, I will not be giving or I will not be go deep with this kasi po we've been bombarded. Alam na po natin yung previous na training po natin on indigenization, localization. So, ito maalala ko napalitan. Ang example natin dito dati is a festival ng Baguio City. Since sa taga Davao naman ang nag-refine nito, kaya Kadayawan Festival in Davao na rin po. So, the indigenization, ito rin po yung ating napansin, and this is where also technical assistance should come in. Medyo nahihilo po yung ating mga kasamahan, how is indigenization, localization, and contextualization should be done. Kahit na binigyan po natin ng example, meron po tayong definition, there are times na kahit din po tayo nakakahilo din. So, siguro po sa mga WLL, we also have to see in that na okay yung dating ng mga ito sa ating mga learners. Ayan. So, halimbawa ng ating sample ng integrated curriculum sa ALS, ito pa po. So aside from yung kinonsider natin kanina na level, ILA, RPL, and the contextualization, rin po, the integrated curriculum. Kinakailangan din po ng assistance sa ating mga learner, sa ating mga teachers, para po mabigyang hustisya po ang pag-i-integrate ng ating curriculum within and across. At nakikita po talaga na yun po ang magkakasama. So meron po tayong halimbawa dito, ang ating main na competency ay sa science. Design and conduct a simple study. Ano po yung kanyang mga integration? Identify the cause and effect. Okay, since meron namang investigation dyan, affecting health. And then that is in LS1. Meron tayong integration within state factors affecting the health. Yes. And then conduct a simple survey sa LS3. Siguro yung simple statistics din niya. And then LS5, discuss the factors that influence oneself positively and negatively. So sana po, ganito din po yung integration ng curriculum. At nakikita po talaga na in the development of the lesson doon sa WLL ay naroon. Okay? So, multi-level teaching with differentiated instruction. Bakit po natin kinakailangan gawin yan sa ALS? Bakit parang ganun ang preparation natin? Ito po yung ating dahilan. Ayan. Kapag iisa-isahin po natin yan, katulad ng ginagawa natin sa formal schooling, na dapat isa-isang competency, pero nandun pa rin naman yung integration, pero iba kasi yung kanyang, iba rin yung way ng presentation natin. Sa ALS po, nagtitipid po tayo ng oras kasi yung iba working ang ating mga learners. Yung iba naman, kailangan mabigyan ng oras ang kanilang mga pamilya. So ginagawa po natin ito, unang-una para makatipid po tayo ng kanilang oras, and we will give what is the maximum learning po sa kanila on that particular time. Okay? So kung halimbawa 270 minutes, yan, at least makakatipigan. Kasi usually, oras lang po yung binibigay ng ating mga learners sa kanilang mga pag-aaral. Alright? So, ito po yung halimbawa po ng ating curriculum. Yeah, title po yan. So, let's move on sa blended learning. Okay? So, since time immemorial, kahit na wala yung nung hindi pa uso-uso ang online, ano po, actually we practice naman the blended learning. Only that, ngayon lang po natin ito na-emphasize. So, blended learning combines different modalities and technologies. It maximizes each of their strength and provides flexibility and accessibility to people. So, ngayon lang parang nakikita natin yung parang bigat ni blended learning. Pero previously, I believe kasi nakikita natin na meron at meron ito. Yun nga lang, hindi ganun kadiin. Okay, so when we say blended learning, as was mentioned a while back, we have there the multimedia, we have the readings and activities, we have the worksheets and packs, the video classes, chat groups, or in-person or face-to-face. Meron pa po ba? Okay, ayan. So kasama na rin po yan kung is it high bandwidth, is it the light technology, or offline. So nakikita po natin, nandyan na yung column kung saan nabibilang yung high bandwidth, yung light technology, or yung kanya, yung mga offline na activities. So, ito ulit po. Ang ating lugar ay depende po. Kaya nung tinanong po tayo ng ating mga fellow implementers, apay masapul ba nga aramiden amin dagita? Hantay nga ipilit. No, anya ti applicable ijay lugar tayo, apay hantay nga ipilit no anya ti kaya. Still, we do the blended learning in a way na contextualize, localize, kasi yun ang available. Ano po, kasi mga messages po ng ating mga fellow implementers, dito yung lugar may kathaan nga ron nga agbalin, text lang, marigatan ti signal. Well, we understand that. So, we will do our blended learning in a way na ano yung nakakaya. Kasi nasa adjustment, ina-adjust po natin kung ano yung pwede. Kung siguro la Trinidad and Baguio, and yung mga parts na okay ang signal, they can work with video classes and a lot of multimedia. But for those katulad namin na limited, we could go with readings and activities and the chat groups together with the offline, or what is, or maybe the light technology and the offline. Okay? Ano pa po masasabi natin? Yes? So, yan daw po. Ano pa? Alright. So, yan ang tinatawag natin mga blended learning, light technology plus offline. Okay. So, alright. So, yung mga iba naman na po dito is mga talagang activities na kinakailangan lang po nating gawin, but we know that yung taking much of or will not be taking much of your time na i-discuss po natin. Basta ang gusto lang po nating iparating sa inyo is alternative learning system works with their weekly learning lag. Weekly learning lag po yan. We have also our template, but if there is a little parang innovation, so long as hindi nalalayo po doon sa ating DepEd order, since nasa Pilipinas tayo, we still have to be there. And the assistance that is also needed para maging mas improve po yung ating delivery ng ALS sa ating pong mga learners. Kasi ngayon pong new normal po tayo, parents are also asking us teachers to help them. They were also trying to ask for modules para makatulong sa kanilang mga anak. So hindi sana po in one way or another ay ma-improve po natin ang ALS as we are also trying to work with the ALS 2.0. So thank you very much, and siguro po pag may mga queries po tayo, just feel free po to put them in our chat box. Marami naman po yung mga kasamahan nating ALS implementers na pwede pong magbigay ng kaliwanagan sa ating pong mga katanungan. Once again, marami pong salamat. Back to Ma'am Juliet. Oh, not sure. Wala. Wala po tayong mga tanong, dear school heads and master teachers. Yung ating mga fellow ALS implementers, baka may dagdag po kayo.
Partner, meron tayong comment sa ating group chat. Sabi ni Madam Administrator, Madam, pakiulit nga yung difference between WLL and WHLP.
May we also ask yung participation ng ating mga fellow, yung ating mga fellow ALS implementers, maybe from our EPSAs, kindly also help us para mas maganda kasi sa kanila rin ito manggagaling. So Ma'am Shali, could you please try to discuss on that part po?
Hello, good morning. Rainy morning
Yeah.
po.
Yes, go ahead, Ma'am Shali.
Yeah. WLL, ang mga ALS teachers po natin ngayon ay hindi mo nagagawa ng kanilang weekly learning plan, bagkus sila ay gagawa ng kanilang weekly home learning plan na katulad po sa formal school. That is in accordance with, na memorandum number. Ayan po. So wala po munang WLL or DLL, WHLP po muna ang gagawin ng ating mga ALS teachers po. Thank you.
Any more from our teammates? Sige po, additional po tayo para meron po tayong participation. Juliet?
Yes, I heard
Yes.
that. Sorry, nawala rin ako ulit.
Okay po.
Hindi maganda rin ang internet natin dito sa division office. Now, yes, I agree with Ma'am Shali. We're actually using or preparing WHLP and not the WLL in the meantime because of this. I mean, in as per the DepEd order ba yun? Nakalimutan na natin ang number ng DepEd order, but DepEd order on the preparation of the WHLP. That is what we are following too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you Ma'am Juliet and Ma'am Shali. Nakalimutan po nating banggitin yon. Sige po. Okay. So meron tayong tanong dito. Yes sir, yes sir. Yes, go ahead. Ay, yata po sir, still reading po yung mga comments. Sige po, if you have some if you can give some clarifications on that sir, go ahead po muna. Yeah, yes. Yes po. Okay. Thank you po, sir. Ayan. Is Ma'am Angie po in? Ma'am Angie? Para at least mabigyan po rin po natin ng kasagutan yung ating susunod na
Ma'am LD.
Yes po.
We also have the comment of Ma'am Marifi. We did not read this a while back.
Yes po.
Ma'am Marifi said, addendum lang po ma'am, blended learning po ay dati na po ata na ginagamit ng ALS. Pero ngayon lang lalo na na-emphasize dahil sa new normal na ginagawa na ngayon ng formal school. Yes. And a question here also from the PCNHS. If senior high school and if school head and master teachers are required to give TA to the ALS implementers in their own area of responsibility, does this mean that we will travel also to the different CLC? Will the WLL of ALS implementers be checked also by school head?
Ma'am Juliet, kayo po yata ang makakasagot dyan. Ano po?
Yeah. Wala pa ba si Ma'am Angie dyan? Ma'am LB?
Yeah, i-check ko po muna ma'am. Sige, kayo po muna.
Sige, please. Yeah. Because we need her here too. Si Ma'am Angie talaga ang mag-discuss nito. Anyways.
Yes, sige. May come in, okay. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning po.
You're being heard.
Yes. As to that's part of technical assistance and monitoring and evaluation on the part of the school heads and the master teachers. If that particular ALS teacher is based in your locality, the scope of your school, then you can reach out them for technical assistance and monitoring. Yes, you are expected, no? The school heads, kaya nga kayo kailangan dito, kailangan ng ALS kayo for technical assistance. Please reach out them. No? And look at also, see also their weekly learning plan or weekly home learning plan. Yes, kailangan po ng mga ALS teacher kayo sa inyong technical assistance. But if you do not have ALS teachers in your locality, then why do you bother or encroach the other areas? Kung may mga school heads naman nandoon sa ibang area. Pero kung wala talagang school heads sa ibang area, then you are needed very much to render your technical assistance po. Hello, did that answer? Any supplement, Ma'am Juliet? Wala po.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Iyon ba ang concern?
Yes, ma'am. I think so.
Yes.
They can see where they can assist the teachers, I should say, in the alternative learning.
Yes, the ALS implementers.
We are also here, and then the PSDSS. And this also depends on the situation in their division office, ma'am. Because there are divisions where the immediate supervisor of the teacher is the PSDS. So as to anyway, that is for the supervisory part. But for the technical assistance part, it's there where school heads and then education program specialists too will come in. Also, the master teachers. So, depende na po sa collaboration actually. Yes, but yung tama nga po yung sabi ni Ma'am Angie na if they are within the jurisdiction, of course, of the school, tama nga po na tutulong din po ang school head o kaya ay yung master teachers po. Technical assistance lang na po naman ang kailangan po ng ating mga mobile teachers as to titingnan nila kung ano ang situation ng mga learners and then ano po yung mga kailangan kaya nila so that mai-prepare po yung tamang dapat mai-prepare po. Yan, ma'am. Okay. And then we also have here one question. Okay, ma'am. Are we given also travel hardship allowance if we need to travel far to reach the ALS teacher? Hehehe, sabi niya pala. Just asking, especially when we have to hike uphill. Sabi po niya, ma'am.
Okay. For your school MOOA, why not budget for your travel allowance? Kayo ang humahawak ng school MOOA. And the ALS are kabilang dyan sa MOOA ninyo. Our ALS learners kabilang, kasali sa allotment ng MOOA ninyo sa schools. So why not? You can also budget for your travel allowance for the ALS and for your hardship allowance for the ALS. Kasi risky man talaga yung ng ALS. Kailangan lalabas kayo sa inyong schools. Magtra-travel pa kayo. And you need transportation allowance. Yes. Legitimate siguro yan sa expenditures ninyo sa inyong MOOE sa school.
Hopefully po niya, ma'am. Wow, sabi niya. Thanks. Hopefully our accountant will approve.
Yes, it will be approved. Kasi sa division naman is alam nila na ALS is part of our school MOOA. And the division MOOA, they're part. Kaya nga ALS in the school-based management. Qualified po 'yon. Qualified po 'yon sa sa MOOE, budgeting of your MOOE. Sige po.
Ayan, Ma'am Juliet. I think we were clarified. Ayan.
Yes
Sige
po.
po.
Oo. Depende sa division. All you have to do is to inform the division that you're also traveling out from your school to reach out the ALS. Yes, ma'am. Oo. Yes nga. So, ang importante lang is to inform the division accounting office of your destination, no? Your travel time and your pinupuntahan ng mga CLCs. Yes, proper coordination po sa division office. Thank you, Sir Rod.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. We also have here, kapag nasa SIP or School Improvement Plan, Annual Improvement Plan, siguro ninyo, ma'am, administrator, wala sigurong problema, sabi po niya. So, that is in addition to what you are saying. But, yan ay kung sa school head, kung sa mga master teachers mo at na pan-assist, yun na. Baka pwede rin nilang idagdag.
Oo.
Kasi they are teachers naman, Mutpiman. But for the school heads, no problem. Kasama na po yun. Yeah. Okay? So I think, Ma'am LD, meron pa po ba tayong idadagdag sa mga...
Yan. So, we just had the right people to answer the queries. Ano po? Ayan, ganyan po talaga. So kapag hindi alam na minsan may mga ganito palang sitwasyon. But actually, it's reality. So I was really thankful din in my areas, doon po sa Atok. There were times na some of the school heads were joining us. Sasakyan po nila yung gamit namin. At parang wala akong narinig na somewhere else sa school or what. Kasi lately sa Inpaway, in the school head there, in the person of Ma'am Siing, went around with us doon po sa area na kung saan naroon yung ating learning center, and trying also to help us doon sa monitoring and then doon sa kanilang mga also do that naman po at the same time with their technical assistance. So para-paraan lamang po yan, but we just want to share na ganun po talaga yung nangyayari since we also belong sa mga schools na po ngayon. So yun lamang po siguro, Ma'am Juliet. Meron lang po ditong isang concern pa po yata. I think po, ma'am, hindi po kasali ang ALS sa provision ng MOOE ng school. This school year, hindi kasali kasi sa WFP and PPMP. This will be clarified po with the accounting. Baka po yung next question. Okay, so yun po, Ma'am Juliet, ang sinasabi po dyan. PCNHS. Okay?
Kaya nga starting now, please always include them sa inyong plan, no? Sa SIP, sa mga plans ng school, sa inyong SIP, palaging isama ang ALS para in times na kailangan na naman ninyo ang mga funding para sa outreach ninyo, then you can make use of it. Gamitin din ang ALS na pang-outreach activities ninyo sa mga ALS centers. Kasali yun pag nasama ninyo sa inyong SIP. Yan po, yan lang po.
Thank you, Ma'am Angie.
Yes, yes po, thanks.
So, Ma'am Juliet, I think
Ayan. Okay.
okay.
I think everything is clear na po. If you have some questions, anyway, we can park. You just type it on the on our chat pin, and then we will be reading it later. If we will be having our, and we will park because at least nandyan ang ating chat box na ano, parking lot. Okay. So we will have moms and sirs, we will be having a 15-minute break po. So time check, it's already 10:13 in the morning, and we will be coming back at we'll have a health break for 15 minutes, and then we will be coming back at 10:27 po. So let us enjoy our health. Mag-inat-inat po tayo. Let's have some stretching po, coffee, water, ganun po. So see you at 10:27. For those who are still with us, moms and sirs, please do not forget to click the link of our attendance so that we can log in for the third day of our webinar. We have two links, so we can just click on any of this. If we cannot go in, hindi pa tayo makapasok sa isang attendance link, pwede po nating i-try yung isa para po tayo makapag-attendance for today. Thank you so much.
Tayo man, kit dinagkapi. Ready din kag Mr. Edgar, nga kapiyan tayo.
Okay, moms and sirs. After 2 minutes, we will start again our next session for this morning. So please make sure na katabi nyo na po ang inyong mga kape, ang inyong kape, ang inyong merienda, at saka ang inyong tubig. At make sure din po na tayo po ay nag-stretch naman ng konti para hindi tayo magkaroon ng mga cramps sa katawan. Okay, thank you po sa mga naglalagay po ng kanilang comments sa ating chat pane, no? Okay, marami po tayong mga nababasa rito. Ayan. Kumusta po ang mga taga-Tabuk na kasama natin this morning? Baka pwede po tayong mag-on ng camera. Tabuk City participants, nandito na po ba tayo? Okay, we are all 50 as of this moment. How about Kalinga? Wala pa tayong naririnig na boses from Kalinga. Yan. Ifugao participants from Ifugao. Sana nandyan na rin po kayo. Benguet. Kumusta po tayo? Participants from
Present.
Benguet. Ayan. Wow, si Sir Tito Bester talaga ang narinig ko. Okay, Baguio City. Participants.
Present po.
Okay. Ayan. Thank you po. And then how about Abra?
Present, ma'am. Present.
Sir Bose, thank you. Sir Apayaw. How about
Clear
Apayaw?
yun, ah.
Present
po, ma'am.
Okay, user po ang nakalagay na pa. Please rename po para naman mabasa natin ng maayos ang inyong mga magagandang pangalan. Thank you, sir. And then, Mountain Province.
Present.
Ayun, si Ma'am Taod. Okay. One of our... and maraming salamat for staying with us po. Now, okay. Kumusta na po ang ating mga kasama dyan sa regional office? Okay, we will now have our next topic. We will be informed again, we will be updated on assessment. And may we invite Sir Brian A. Hidalgo.
Coordination mo dyan? O dakad ko?
Yes po, ano po yun? Again, may we invite Dr. Brian A. Hidalgo, the Regional Education Program Supervisor for Mathematics, for his updates on assessment. Sige.
Ma'am Juliet.
Yes, ma'am.
I think Sir Brian is still working doon sa kanila. We will have Dr. Lorraine P. Verdejo.
Okay. Sige po. Sige. So may we, instead of Sir Brian, may we welcome one of the mobile teachers of Baguio City, Dr. April Lorraine Pagtan Agustin Verdejo, for her sharing on IPCRF.
Good morning once again, Ma'am and Sir. Madam and Sirs, I will take over temporarily on the slot of Sir Brian. because as we all know, our webinars are up, above, and below. Kung pwede po sana display natin, ilatag natin lahat ng ating mga, anong tawag dito, gadget, pwede natin buksan, tatlo para sabay-sabay. So, magbabatin na lang daw po si Sir Brian after me or either or saan siya makasingit sa oras. So, I will be presenting yan, PowerPoint, sorry. Okay na po ba? So you are seeing on the screen RPMS slash ba yun? Hindi ko makita. PPST slash RPCRF in the context of ALS.
Okay, clear sa amin.
Okay, thank you po.
Clear sa amin.
I know this topic is one of the most controversial topics of all times. I don't know if I don't know if I can answer your queries on IPCRF later, but I will just be sharing with you what was presented in our trainers training 2 weeks ago from the central office, because this topic also created a lot of confusions in the field. So siguro po you can help us per division on how our with IPCR based on, of course, RPMS, PPST in the context of alternative learning system. So ang haba po ng pangalan ko, I am retaining my maiden name. Ayoko kasing i-give up kasi masiga yung Agustin. Okay po. So this PPST, RPMS is of course based on DO 42 Series 2017, and this is known as the National Adoption and Implementation of the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. And this could mean that all of us in the Department of Education, whether non-teaching or teaching personnel, will undergo a proper performance evaluation. And when this was released in 2017, there is a confusion in the field, in the alternative learning system field, probably because of the MOVs we're going to attach in this IPCR. Now, in this reference po, DO 59 series of 2016, ito po yung amendment sa maraming lahat po ng, this is an amendment in many orders in relationship to ALS and Regional Memo 139 series of 2018. Kasali po ito, for example, in one of our roles and responsibilities, sabi po niya dito, manages an environment conducive to learning. Now, if I believe all the ALS implementers in the field can agree with this, especially in far-flung areas, because there are still ALS teachers who do not have a classroom, or not really a classroom, a learning center which is conducive. So ano po yung ilalagay nating MOV dito sa ating conducive learning center? No problem in the formal school, because our learners in the formal school system just enter the classroom and then the classroom is structured. However, for us in the field, and I can attest to this, that what can we provide as an MOV for conducive learning? And then what else? Another roles and responsibilities and supervises curricular and co-curricular programs. Ito po siguro yung medyo lacking natin, kasi nga alam po natin sa ALS, the setup is our learners come and go. They may not complete the 10-month program. So ito po yung anong support ilagay. Anyway po, siguro yung confusion yung MOVs natin na ilalagay sa ating portfolio sa field. Okay? So yan po yan. And we also have a very comprehensive policy guidelines. And we were joking with Ma'am Claire, one of the supervisors here in the region, sabi po niya, bakit mo kabisado ang DO 13 Series 2019? Ma'am, yun lang po kasi yung policy guideline. Yun lang po kasi yung comprehensive policy guideline para sa ALS. And I think siguro it's because of the lucky number 13, and it's a comprehensive guideline of ALS 0, kaya nakukuha po natin yan natin na because of implementation of ALS K-12, also there is a need to harmonize the policies pertaining to ALS to ensure strategic, efficient, and effective implementation. So one thing to emphasize in the is policy guideline number 7, sabi po niya dito po kasi kami umasa, like all teaching personnel, ALS teachers are subject to RPS, PPST, however, it should be contextualized. And sabi po niya dito, shall be released through a separate issuance. So yun po siguro yung nagkakapan tayo, no, na medyo alanganin po kami dito kasi sa MOVs po tayo nagkakatalo sa KRAs na nakikita sa RPMS, PPST. So let's proceed po. A short activity. Ang pangalan po nito ay Emoji Mo, Show Mo. I know you are all familiar with emojis. We are not digital natives, but we know we can see right now using our cell phones and in social media. So ang gagawin po natin dito, ganyan lang po yan. I want you to answer this question po. How did you feel during your first time in rating the ALS teachers? Meaning the mobile teachers and the district ALS coordinators. So I will be presenting po this link kasi we will be transferred to another link. Di ba? Ang ganda, no? Link na lang ng lahat. Sana po maganda yung link natin. Please click po the link in our Mentimeter, and I think it will be provided in our group chat. So yan po, pakiclick na lang po yung link. Kuhakan ko na lang. Pakiclick po itong link na ito, ma'am and sir, and then sana yung ating chat. Ako ba't makitan? Ma'am Juliet, can you help me in posting? Nalaing launay ni laptop ni DepEd.
Okay.
Pakiclick yung link ating
Copy.
thank you. Pakiclick lang po yung link sa ating group chat, and then you will be diverted. Diverted ba? You will be you will be sent in another virtual space, and that is Mentimeter. So let me know po if you are there, or if you cannot access the Mentimeter, you can go to this link. You can go to mentimeter.com and just enter the code to vote. So parang voting system tayo. Isipin na lang po natin na election. So ito po yung vote natin, 7659547. So pupunta po tayo dito. The responses, you are screen sharing. Stop share. Ito na lang po yung i-share natin. So dyan po dapat po tayo makikita, ma'am and sir. Marami na pong sumagot, may 5. Thank you so much for participating. So yung tanong po, ang galing, ang titeki ng ating mga school heads. How did you feel during your first time in rating? Tama ba yung English? In rating the ALS teachers. So option 1 is mixed emotion. Option 2 is happy. Option 3 is confused. Option 4 is sad. Uy, they are very honest. Walang sumasagot sa 3 and 4. Sige lang po. 7 answered the Mentimeter link. 8. We are given more minutes. Sige lang po, no worries. 10 participants. Kung nakikita po natin yung screen natin dito, 11 nakikita po yung nagsumasagot. Let's wait for another 1 minute. Habang ini-enjoy natin yung pagsagot sa ating Mentimeter. Parang biglang bumaba yung sa happy kanina, 83%, lumipat sila sa 3. Pero okay lang po yan. Kasi that is, we understood po that probably some are confused. Even the mobile teachers are confused. So as makamas lalo pa si school head. Sabali din pakita ng MOV. 13, we are 49 participants plus the training team. Kahit maka 20 plus tayo, medyo okay na. At least nasubukan po natin yung Mentimeter. Yehey, dumadami po ang sumasagot. Yes, 16 brave souls. Ay, plus ikaw pala partner kasi sumagot ka rin kanina. Tinesting natin ito kung pwede. So, kunyari ikaw yung school head ng Camp 30 National High School. Very happy ang sumagot ay sa inyong mobile teachers and LCs. Sige lang po. 17. Sikat maka 20 lang tayo para makita natin yung
18 ang ha.
okay. It's the battle between option 1 and option 2. Para hindi sayang yung 1 oras kasi marami pong nakapila. Sige po, just one participant to answer. Yes! So we are now 20 who answered in this Mentimeter question. So tingnan po natin yung panano. Baka makalimutan ko. I'll take a picture of the result. Pwede namang i-save mamaya. The highest so far is option 2, 59%, followed by option 1, 32%, and option 3 is 9%, option 4, 0. So I will stop sharing. We go back po to our presentation. So yan po. Nakikita po natin yung pumunta tayo. So, that is Mentimeter for the first timers. Pwede po niyong i-explore yung Mentimeter po sa mga susunod na araw. Now, we proceed to the next question. Why do you think that blank? Ano po ang highest natin dito? Emoji got the most number of responses in our consolidated results. Ano po yung highest natin? The highest one is happy. Meron bang gustong magsabi na bakit happy po yung sagot? Kahit isa lang po. Ma'am and sir, why were you happy when you rated the ALS teachers for the first time? Hello po, meron po ba magpagsabi? Or kahit sa group chat, babasahin na lang po ni Ma'am Juliet. Why were you happy in rating the mobile teachers? One also, why did you answer confused? Hindi po natin alam yung mga sagot niyo, Ma'am and Sir. Kasi po, kuwan lang yung, anong tawag dito, random. So if you will be courageous enough to share.
Ma'am Lorraine?
Yes po.
May ano dito, ito lang kasi hindi na-rename ang kanyang pangalan, but administrator po ang kanyang ano.
Gusto ko yan. Very administrator. Okay.
Happy, emoji naman siya. So, bakit po kaya?
Bakit po kaya, ma'am or sir administrator? Meron po.
Ito pong sagot niya. Because he did his work happily and had impressive way of motivating his learners.
Sana all, mapapasana all po lahat kung ganyan po yung mga ating mga ALS implementers. Thank you, ma'am or sir administrator. Another one, may I ask for those who answered confused? Mixed feelings. Si Sir po, Sir Fernando Galdo, mixed feelings since it's my first time to be with ALS programs. Maraming salamat po. Thank you for being honest, sir. Ng first timers ay yan, madidivergenize na sa amin. Thank you. Sir Danny from Baguio, happy because we are empowered. Maraming salamat po. Yung mixed feelings or confused kaya, kasi or yung confused kaya po tayong dalawang sumagot na confused.
Yan, meron daw po si Sir si Sir Danilo, happy because we were empowered ba? Ang ibig sabihin po, yes, empowered po daw sila.
Okay, so thank you for participating. That is mentimeter.com. So thank you at least for being honest, for sharing that you were confused, you were happy in assisting our mobile teachers. We will all see why were you confused siguro po at this first time. Yung mga happy, makita po natin din na matagal na sila sa field. So let's proceed. So ayan po na yung mga ating materials sa ating PPST. Alam na alam po natin yan. Baka yung ibang school head nagsasama na kasi RPMS PPST manan. We are all familiar with the other tools. Nagdaktal sa amin. Okay, and self-assessment tools, manuals. There is an updated manual version 2019. So yung mga luma po yung hawak, check po natin yung updated manual ng 2019. Meron po rin tayong comics and facilitators guide. Sorry. So, yan po yung tools. Alam na alam po natin yan. We are familiar with the KRAs. Sabi nga natin, yung mga ginagawa na ba natin, nasa KRA natin. Pero pwede ba yung ginagawa natin na wala sa KRA, we are, how do you call this? We are outstanding in ourselves because even without in our KRA, we are doing it. Pwede bang ganon? So yan po yan. And then of course, we are familiar with the objective. And sabi po natin dito, the teachers target 13 objectives to realize the 5 KRAs. Meron din po tayong performance standard indicators. And we have the rating 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. So yan po yan. Okay, meron po, ito po yung siguro yung nalilito namin kami sa field kasi baka iba po yung means of verification ng formal school teachers, iba rin po sa amin. And I think ito rin po yung makita natin dito sa baba. Sige, dito po, halimbawa po dito sa my sample IPCRF with actual results, if you will check po all the KREs to the objectives, wala po tayo yung Regional Memo 139 entitled Submission of Reports for Program and Monitor sa ALS in the region. Nakalagay po doon na we should at least target 75% of our enrollees. So kung may 100 po na map po tayo, wala po yung mapping dito sa ALS. Hindi po natin nakikita yung mapping ni ALS teacher sa ating IPCRF na bago. Hindi rin po natin nakikita yung passer ni ALS teacher dito sa IPCRF. Hindi rin po natin nakikita yung test ni passer ni ALS teacher dito. Yung sa linkages po natin, kung dito po sa, I know you are very familiar with the KRAs 1 to 4 plus the plus factor, hindi rin natin nakikita dito yung how the teachers go to the community and deal with the people in the community. Wala po ito sa ating MOVs ng ating bagong IPCR. So, yan po yung mga MOVs siguro natin sa medyo nagkakalituhan po tayo. Kasi this MOV, for example, how do you call this? We prepare also these MOVs and we know that we have a portfolio for teachers also. And ito po, most of the ALS implementers have difficulties in identifying the exact MOV link it to the objectives in the IPCR form. Okay, so ito po siguro yung may tulong natin sa school head natin, ma'am and sir. Makikita po natin dito na talaga paulit-ulit po yung MOVs ang nahihirapan po tayo. Okay, So, of course, in our two types of objectives, we are all familiar with objectives 1 to 7, that these are observable in the classroom. And the main MOV for this is what we discussed earlier as a lesson plan. But in ALS, of course, before the pandemic, our lesson plan is weekly. So weekly lesson log. And the same is true with the formal school system. You are less than 3 years in the service. I think there is a required need to make a detailed lesson plan. And for objectives 8 to 13 are the non-classroom observable objectives. Okay? Yan po. May isang tanong din ulit tayo dito, pero wala na pong Mentimeter. Siguro po pwedeng masagot lang sa utak. In your opinion, can an ALS teacher achieve the set MOVs in every subject? Masagot kaya natin ito? Masagot kaya ng ALS teacher ang or makapagbigay kaya si ALS implementer or si ALS teacher ng MOV? Siguro po, while waiting for someone to post his answer or her answer here, meron pong comment from Pine City National High School. Thank you, Sir Whitney. Haha, not an experience rating, and I was teacher, but it feels exciting with this additional role. Opo, thank you. From Sir Danilo, yes. From administrator, of course, naman daw. So, siguro po yung iba rin na hindi kaya ng signal. I know you want to answer this question, and I hope the answer is yes. But if the answer is no, well, sige po, yun po yung tulungan po kami na makapag-provide ng maayos or not really maayos ng eksaktong MOV sa lahat po ng every object. Kapigas lang every object dito yung sige. Okay, sige. Ito po yung mga RP basis po natin. So, looking at our objective number 1, nakikita po yung lesson plan, talagang lesson plan, no, partner? Kaya dapat ikaw ang may pinaka-critical na role dito kasi ikaw ang anak ni Ma'am Lana sa ating shift training. Meron po tayong lesson plan na instructional, talagang very lesson plan po tayo. Pero of course, in the ALS context, in reference to Depth Order number 42, Series 2016, in anong annex yun, partner? Annex 4D? Annex D? Sabi mo kanina na it coupled with ALS modules. Yan po. Kaya-kaya po natin yan. May isa pang chat dito. Yes po, if she will meet naman lahat ng objective, kahit hindi exact. Sabi ni Ma'am Marifree, sabi din ni Ma'am Luz, yes, of course, they can. Thank you so much for giving us a top, or for sabi sa Army, nakaka-high moral. Okay, another, yan po, yung RPMS natin, objectives numbers 2 to 9, all MOVs sa ALS are set achievable. Why? Ito po yung madali lang po itong i-provide, instructional material, performance task, test material, activity sheet, and others. Okay, meron po rin tayo sa RPMS objective number 10. Again, lesson plan in the ALS context is WLL. We have our reference, and then dito po tayo sa material. Siguro sa field po na medyo nakarelate tayo. I think one of the things we should consider here is our test materials po are provided in our modules. Narinig pa ba ako? Our connection is just unstable. So test material with TOS, ito rin po yung isang concern din natin. Kaya nga we asked Sir Brian Hidalgo, the education supervisor in charge of mathematics under CLMD. He will be talking of assessment later on. I think he will mention TOS, the test of specifications that I believe some teachers, also the principals in the field, school heads in the field, I think we have a different version of the TOS. Kasi maalala ko nung nag-aaral pa ako, St. Louis Pray for Us, kailangan daw may 10% na difficult, may 5% na ganito. And I think that is not stated in depth order regarding the table of specifications. And Sir will be talking of the summative test and diagnostic test in a little while. On objective number 11 po, nakalagay dito, sample of learner's portfolio. Last week, Ma'am Ana mentioned of the ABL, and Ma'am Juliet mentioned of the FLP. That is the assessment for basic and functional literacy test for ALS learners. We also have other forms. We have RPL and ALS assessment forms, and they will be used as an MOV to support objective number 11. For objective number 12, ito rin po meron tayong selected test, the learner in the same learning area or strand. Ito po with learners and ALS teacher signature. And then, ito po yung kung nakikita niyo po kami sa mga barangay, we are doing the literacy mapping with nung wala po pandemic, we go to the field. Uray siguro diya, we go to the field and then look for possible ALS learners for our literacy mapping, and that is one document we can provide for objective number 12. Okay, pero ngayon po, since it's the virus is not seen and we do not have budget if we caught the virus in the Department of Education, so what we do for literacy mapping is, again, like what we're doing right now, we do virtual. So kaasi talaga dagiti ubing or dagiti learners na awan iti data na niya kay garon basta nga talaga. Yan po. Moving on, we have the scope of policy, another DepEd order number 2. Another DepEd order, it is DepEd order number 2 series of 2015. Nakikita po dyan, guidelines on the establishment and implementation of the RPMS in the Department of Education. So, mabilis ba? Baka gusto nang matapos kaya mabilis. Kasi I am only given 30 minutes to have a preview on scope of policy. Ito po siguro yung pinaka-importante, mga sir, the scope of policy. It was emphasized in one of our trainings that the rating, or for example, for this, the first column, for the rating of the teacher, may mga division po kasi tayo na, anong tawag dito? May mga teachers na master teachers at the same time. So the rater or the observer should be the school heads. The school heads in charge in their school, and the approving authority for small and medium divisions will be the superintendent, and for large and very large divisions, because of course the superintendent is busy, it will be the assistant superintendent. Pero po, looking at the, wala problema po sa teacher and the teacher in the formal school system. The ALS implementers who are school-based, the rater would be any master teacher or the head teacher or the assistant principal, and their approving authority is the principal or the school head. Kayo po yun. However, for community learning centers, kasi there are ALS implementers who work in the community and they are there, they are not school-based. The rater is the education program specialist for ALS, the education program specialist 2, specifically handling ALS, and their approving authority is the CID chief. Okay, yan po siguro yung medyo kailangan natin i-emphasize. Kahit po si master teacher ay nagtuturo sa ALS, ang rater niya po ay si principal or si school head. While for ALS implementers, lower than master teacher in terms of rank, and the rater observer will be their master teacher, head teacher, or the assistant principal. Okay, yan po ay based on the RPMS PPST under BHROD. Okay po, so I think I said enough. If there would be questions, please help me answer these questions. So, ang dami po nating roles as school heads. We are banking on your help po, ma'am and sir. Ating mga ALS implementers who are school-based.
Sir, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Kasi
sige lang po.
Mahina ako sa pag-encode.
Sige lang, ma'am.
Mayroon pa akong tanong dito sa may yung ALS implementers school-based at saka ALS implementers CLCs based. I do not know where do we fall here. Kasi naman, kung minsan ginagamit yung school. But most of the time, he is using the CLCs. Saan ba mag-fall yung ALS teacher implementer natin dito? Kasi parang i-combination of both kasi school-based and then CLC-based. Saan ba mag-fall yung teacher dito? In our own school.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes po. Mukhang nagkakaroon ng problema ang internet connection nila, Ma'am Lorraine. Ma'am Angie, are you there?
Sige po. Anya diay, tana ka nagdidengeg?
Ma'am, ada problema dito school kasi yung teacher dati the ALS teacher that is under my supervision sometimes idi new normal or even idi old and even now he use the school sometimes, for example our ICT laboratory and to naman agusar isunati community learning center. So as to who will rate, dito ti pagproblemahan ni ma'am, ni where do we belong here? Ni master teacher ti agree and then approved by the school head. Wano ni EPLs for ALS agree and then to be approved by our CID.
Yes. Ag-recommend kayo ti rating as a school and then to be finalized by the district supervisor, the PSDS, and to be finally rated in the division office. So the initial rating, the rating you dita, we should recommend you. And then with your initial, the signature ti kwayo. And then agree mo ti PSDS, i-finalize the division office. Tadamot rating ti EPSAS, the division office.
Adi ma'am duwati rater, the school head and then the PSDS. Kat idi previous kat sikat agree kung namot ni PSDS gawin kanyak as ma'am.
Kasi no kasi arrangement you okay lang. No inted ti PSDS ti kwayo, but still finally to be finally rated in the division office.
Ti yung the approving authority, ma'am.
Yes po. Kasi it will still have to pass through the CID. I-review pa ti CID.
Sino ngay ma'am ikabil mi garon nga approving authority?
Siyempre kaslamot kanyayo division latta. Ni
CID wino SDS.
SDS ASDS or SDS. Depende no sino ti approving authority dita division no ASDS or SDS.
Ma'am adapt nga naka-flash nga dito nga either no school based the approving authority school head no community learning center based ni CID ma'am. Ngam dayta kami nga ket wangay I do not know another classification the ALS teacher dito school based or community learning center based kasi he is using both the school and also the CLCs
no CLC gamin no CLC garod ket ma-reach out you within the barangay kayo reach out you mut lang ti CLC ma'am.
Yes ma'am.
Ngam no other CLC in other barangay where there is a school, another barangay nga damot ti CLC nga adamot ti other school na partner you DJ ma'am. Nag-partner kayo.
Ma'am within the barangay. Kasi ito give example kat Ampuka National High School within Ampukaw barangay ma'am.
Yes. Iso nga, that CLC is under your supervision and technical assistance. That is still part of your mobile center mo nga i-reach out, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
si
ma'am.
kalat tati rater ita.
Ay, ako ang magre-rate. But may meron akong master teacher.
Si kano intimity authority iti master teacher, then the master teacher will rate for you to sign. Si kalat tamo ti kwa ijay gamin kanya yung gamin master teacher iti formal, di ba?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Ket
ma'am.
no iso ti i-adapt yumot lang dita while nga awan pay laeng ti usto nga kwanti als awan pay nga ti separate nga RPMST als.
Ma'am, dito nga
So nga
naka-flash nga i-discuss
we
ni
are
Ma'am
still
Lorraine.
adapting tayo pa lang data school kwayo since
dito
nga so kayo pa rin ma'am with your master teacher, but if you gave the authority to your master teacher, then iso na latati a grade.
Okay. Sige ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello ma'am. Good afternoon.
Yes po. Sige po.
Hello ma'am.
Yes sir.
Ma'am, in Benguet, we have told them that the nearest school head in their CLC will be the one to rate.
Yes.
So if there are 3 principals within their CLCs nga asideg, they will
partners.
The 3 principals will give their own observations divided by 3 to be approved by the finalized by the nearest the base nga CLC na ijay nearest CLC na ijay school. Damat ti base school base na ijay
one.
Divided by 3 no talo ti CLC na. Dati nagtutubagan mi ito yung Benguet.
One proper sir, proper.
Yes.
Proper data sir. Yes, that's proper.
Okay.
Yes, proper
so
sir.
That is our internal arrangement.
Internal arrangement. Yes sir.
Yes,
so ganyan din po sa Ampukaw, kung ikaw lang at ang CLC na is within your barangay, ikaw pa rin, isa ka lang.
Okay, sige ma'am. Thank you. Thank you ma'am. Thank you sir.
Okay, sige po. Clear yun, clear.
Thank you ma'am.
But still, yes ma'am, still the rating made by the school heads or the principal is subject for final rating in the division office.
Ma'am, they take it final, they take kwanti principal ma'am, te isuti ko namat dito matrix ma'am. Final the giant.
Anya nga iti rating yung nga ada ta division office nga who are giving TA, technical assistance.
Awan ata considered nga teacher da district following dito matrix nga ma-present.
Iso nga di ma-contextualize, dapat i-contextualize you since awan pa di ay final nga RPMS tayo, hangko mga agpatinggangay ti rating ijay school. Deta ti pagkaiba namot kumati als. Tapno mo big ati you should also extending them technical assistance monitoring and evaluation the division office.
When ma'am during the RPM is dissemination na ibagamot piman nga ALS teacher are considered teachers, so the teacher tayo mga ALS ide nearest ide school dahil iti sunurot nga guidelines. So nga teacher ti ALS, so ti approving kinyada principal or school head an nga mapandito iti o de RPMS da. Dahil ma'am to sinurot mi dito kwanti matrix ma'am.
Sinurot yung latati formal.
One ma'am, ta isumot dito iti matrix nga ada iti RPMS matrix. So dahil ito nasurot mi ma'am. So han nga umay dito division di RPMS ma'am, agkway di district.
So in that case siguro Garud, before it will be finalized, the rating will be finalized, you should also give your comments, observation to the rating officer.
One ma'am, ta siyempre adamat ti immediate district.
One. Dapat ikwayo mo TTAO, they ikwayo. Ag-input kayo mo before they will give the final rating.
Maibat-bati mo di technical assistance form in the school.
Tapno damat survey na ati kwayo ti services yung agtiti kanyada adamot mirit na.
Unta ma-isubmit di i-attach damat lang mat ide RPM is form da.
Wan.
So ite portfolio da. So ite timang kitaan di principal lang ite.
Okay. Yes, oo. Yes, if that is the case, yes, pwede rin yun. Before it will be finalized, nga rated, finalized, i-assess mo ti rater di jay portfolio da. Okay, sir, proper din yun, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Sige po.
Yes,
thank you. Thank you for that. Yes po, Juliet.
Yes. We also have here one comment from Sir Bose. Ang sabi rin niya, ang ALS po sa amin ay under the PSDS. We do not rate them po.
Ayun nga. Naiiba nga ang ng iba-ibang division. So that was being to be rated by the school heads based on the FEMS, yung COTs na yan. But for Abra, iba yun. Iba din. Baka sa ibang districts din ng Abra, baka iba rin. Nangyari yan kasi wala nga tayong final na RPMS. So, local contextualization ti processes ti inusarda. Pwede rin yan. Pwede rin na PSDS. Pwede rin pa na division. So, depende sa division division yan. Awan gamin nga rod. Ada garod ti kunana iche kanya na tayo nga until another issuance from the central office for the ALS RPMS. And hanggang ngayon wala pa. So we are still abiding anya-anya ti quanti division offices, then yun na lang.
Okay po. Copy, ma'am.
For as long as the school's division superintendent is aware of how our ALS implementors are being rated.
Okay, ma'am. Copy.
Yes po.
So, yan po. So, meaning to say po, ma'am, to summarize po yung question po, to summarize po yung inyong sagot, ma'am. Depende po sa division kung ano po ang usapan nila sa PSDS because mobile teachers are under the supervision of PSDSS. And then, nandun din po naman, school-based naman ang kanilang learning center. So, yun po. Ayon po dito sa scope of policy, yan po yung sinasabi, they will follow also this one. Sabi nga po ninyo, it is also in place kasi as implementers, master teacher po ang rater nila, approving authority po ay si principal at saka school head. Kapag po community learning centers ay education program specialist, and ang approving po ay ang chief of CID. Yun po ang nandito sa scope of policy. But again, sabi po ni ma'am kanina, depende po ang internal arrangement po ng division offices. Okay po, so yung mga related po naman dito, ma'am, is kaya flexible ba rater, ma'am? Di nasundin ang matrix, sabi niya. So napakinggan po natin, Sir Victor po, ang mga sagot ni Ma'am Angie. And then sharing po ng iba. And sabi po rin ni Ma'am Vicenta, ma'am, first time ko po nag-rate ng ALS teacher this July kasi first time din po may ALS CLC dito sa loob ng school. Yun po kasi sinabi nila, ma'am. Since nasa loob ng school ang CLC ay ako din po ang direct na mag-monitor at mag-rate sa IPCRF niya. Nasagot na rin po ito kanina. And then, sabi po ni Sir Whitney, ang hirap naman sa part ng ALS implementer kung ang daming dadaanan ng kanilang rating. Yan po. And one question is, wala bang standard na rater para sa mga ALS implementer?
Wala pa po.
Wala pa po, sir. But ito po ayon po sa ating scope of policy, ma'am. Answers, ito po, pwede po nating sundin po ito. Kasi nandito naman po. But for the sinasabi po ng BHROD po na separate issuance for the alternative learning system, RPMS, wala pa po yun. So in the meantime, siguro po, we will be guided by the scope of policy that was already given to us. Thank you po. Yes, Sir Rod. Yes, yes.
Oo. Oo. Oo.
There.
Oo. Ayun nga, dalawa itong scope of policy na you can all both adapt. Ba, yung sabi yung ginagawa ninyo sa Benguet ay ang school heads na ang rating ninyo, okay yun. Kung may iba naman na ginagawa ng ABRA na ginagamit ang PSDS, yun po kasi ang ano nila siguro, baka yun ang tingin din ng kanilang school head na pwede rin sa kanila. Kasi the school heads, the PSDS naman is the overall in the district. Pwede rin din naman yun.
Awan dito eh.
Awan dito eh. Awan nga rod dito eh. Isuga rod ti kwanti SDS da. Adalas sa ti authority ti SDS.
Sige po, thank you for all your concerns, ma'am and sir. Pero as of, ano kailan yung training natin? October, kailan yun? 13 to 15, ALS Task Force emphasize po that we stick with the scope of policy presented. Unless, sabi po ninyo, gusto nyo contextualize sa inyong mga division, that I cannot answer po. As much as you would like to discuss IPCR until 12 o'clock, I'm sorry, I cannot do it. Kung may time po tayo mamaya sa open forum, we can go back to questions because Attorney Flora is waiting for her. Is waiting for, I think she is scheduled at 11 o'clock a.m. today. So thank you so much for participating. Sabi po nila, bago pa tayo umalis, one of the father of psychoanalysis, the Australian neurologist, sabi ni Sigmund Freud, being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. So yan po, when we rate ourselves, again, we emphasize honesty. And that ends. Thank you. Mahalo, mercy. Arigato, salamat. Thank you.
Ya kanu data, arigato, salamat. Nga data, arigato, salamat mo. Sige po.
Japanese ni ma'am, Japanese.
Ma'am Juliet? Okay. So this time, we're really very happy to have one of our speakers nakahanda na po. Ayan. So we will be also listening from yung mga bagay na dapat po nating matutunan because this will always be our advantage on legal matters. So ito po yung ating susunod na speaker. Okay, ma'am, take it away na po para makatipid na po tayo ng time. Thank you so much po.
Okay, check ko muna yung audio ko, okay ba?
Yes,
Naririnig niyo
ma'am.
ako? Okay,
Yes,
sige.
po.
Thank you.
Clear, clear.
Okay, so I will just put muna aking presentation. Wait, paano ba gamitin ito? Okay, nakikita niyo po ba yung aking presentation? Yung aking slides?
Wala pa.
Yes po, attorney.
Ayan. Okay.
Yan, naglo-load pa. Medyo mabayag. Anyway, bago mag-start dun sa ating presentation, so thank you very much po for inviting me as one of your resource speaker for this capacity building for ALS implementation of ALS, and of course school heads, no? So this is very timely yung ating topic for today because today is this week is the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Consciousness Week as provided by our laws. So meaning that this week we will be celebrating celebrating juvenile justice for our children. Okay, na who happen to be unfortunate and became children in conflict with the law. So I hope to deliver as fast as I can considering that the topic is medyo mahaba, no? Mahaba pala yung ating law dito at saka yung DepEd order. Hopefully to finish in 1 hour. Okay, as yung time slot na nabigay po sa atin. Okay, so to start with, nakikita nyo yung aking screen. It's Republic Act 10630. This is the amending act of the RA 9344, yung ating Juvenile Justice Welfare Act of 2006. So na-amend po siya under RA 10630. So, ay, paano? Nagmo-move ba? Ba't hindi nagmo-move? Wait lang ha. Okay, nagmo-move ba? Ayan.
Yes, attorney.
Okay, sige. Okay, so the new law now is considered an act establishing the comprehensive juvenile justice, wherein it is already transferred to the Department of Social Welfare and Development. As compared before, under the RA 9344, it is with the Department of Justice. So naisipan nila na i-transfer ito sa DSWD. That's a very critical po ang trabaho ngayon ng DSWD as far as this law is concerned dahil sila na ang lead agency. And DepEd has a vital role in this law kahit pa nung old na 9344. Okay? So yung sa law na ito, importante po nating malaman kung bakit meron po ito yung minimum age of criminal responsibility of a child. So according to this law, it is 15 years old or under, wala po siyang criminal liability kahit po nakakommit ng crime ang isang bata. However, mandatory sa batas na ito na mag-undergo ng intervention program pursuant to the law yung ating mga CICL, yung mga bata na may mga offenses. And the most, as you know, na some of our learners are the CICLs. Okay, so ito po, yung law din na ito, create niya yung council na sinasabi nating JJWC, wherein DepEd is among the members of the JJWC. So here, sinasabi dito na ang mga bata na nakakommit ng crime, may kailangan silang, for example, it is below 15 dahil wala nga silang criminal liability. It is important that we know what to do if we encounter children like them. We have to immediately release the custody to the parents, guardian, in the absence thereof sa relatives nila. Yun ang sinasabi pag below 15 years old kasi nga wala silang criminal liability. Unlike for adults or 15 and above, below 18 na may discernment na later sasabihan natin is pwede silang ma-refer agad sa mga authorities just like the Women and Children's Desk sa mga PNP, sa ating DSWD. Okay, so basically the intervention program is community-based at saka meron din yung sinasabi nating youth care facility or bahay pag-asa wherein doon dinadala na yung mga bata na hindi pwedeng tanggapin or hindi pwede malagay ang custody sa family. So meron naman tayong centers na sinasabi at youth care facilities. Okay, so kung ang bata ay na-declare na dependent, abandoned, neglected, katulad ng mga may offenses, sila po ay nilalagay din sa mga facility via voluntary commitment na sinasabi, wherein the parents will give a voluntary commitment of their child para doon na sila mag-stay at doon sila mag-undergo ng interventions. Pero kung ayaw ng parents, hindi naman, may remedy pa rin because the DSWD or the local social welfare officer can submit a petition for involuntary commitment if that is for the best interest of the child. Kasi the minimum age for children committed to youth facilities is 12 years old. So yun ang minimum. So kung mas mababa sa 12 years old, talagang sa mga parents, sa family sana. Pero kung wala, meron namang mga NGO or yung mga private organizations din na nagki-cater sa ating mga bata na napapabilang dito sa vulnerable group na ito. Okay, so ano ba, kung ang bata po ay nakapag-commit ng napakaseryosong kaso, just like parricide, murder, yung mga yan, naka-underline dyan, carnapping, they are considered deemed neglected child when mandatory po sa kanila na mailagay po sila sa special facility just like the bahay pag-asa. Okay, ganun din po sa mga repeater, no, repetition ng offense or yung mga paulit-ulit na gumagawa ng krimen na ating mga bata. So kung second time or oftener, they are also deemed neglected child. So mag-undergo din sila ng intervention program at mailagay din sila sa mga youth centers or facilities. Okay, so dito rin sa batas na ito sinasabi na kung ang mga adults ay ginagamit ang mga bata sa paggawa ng mga krimen, so yun, ginagamit silang mga medium to do crimes, then they will be imposed the highest penalty allowed by law. Yun po ang in-upgrade po ng batas na ito, ang penalty ng kung sino man na gumamit at umabuso sa mga bata para gumawa ng mga crimes. Okay? And then may sinasabi din dito na joint parental responsibility. Kaya ang pag-aruga sa mga bata na nakakommit ng crimes is both responsibility of the family at saka ng state o ng gobyerno. So kung minsan, ang mga parents din, napapasama din sila sa counseling at intervention program. Dahil kung minsan yung mga parentes din ang may kakulangan, kaya ang bata ay nagiging offender, okay, or nagiging CICL. Okay, so yung mga nabibiktima ng mga bata, for example, may nadangranda na victims, of course, we have kailangan din silang mabigyan ng psychological intervention by the social welfare officer. Okay, so ang initial na duty natin tayo, no, kahit sino sa atin, is dapat alam natin kung kailan natin, kanino natin nire-refer or dadalhin yung mga bata na nasabi natin kanina. Okay? At saka sa pag-take ng statement ng mga bata po ay hindi basta-basta. That's why magandang i-refer po sila sa mga proper authorities just like the social welfare or kaya sa Children and Women's Desk. Kasi doon, requirement na bago makuha ang statement ng isang CICL, dapat meron siyang abogado. At saka nandoon ang kanyang parents or guardians or nearest relative at ang social welfare officer. Okay? In the absence, may mga alternative just like an NGO, religious group representative, or member ng Barangay Child Protection Committee. Okay, so yung social welfare po, yung social worker po ang magdidetermine kung ano ang appropriate intervention dahil sila po ang mag-a-assess ng sinasabi nating discernment. Yung capacity ng bata na maintindihan yung right or na mali or tama ba or alam ba niya ang consequences ng kanyang action. Yung ating mga social welfare form magdidetermine yan para sa paggawa ng isang case study report wherein dito pag ang bata is 15 or below, then nawala siyang discernment, so yun, no? Yun ang i-determine niya. Pero kung meron siyang discernment at above 15 but below 18, minor pa rin siya, pero with discernment siya, instead of intervention, may tinatawag na diversion program ang mai-implement sa kanya. Okay, so yan. So pwede po kasing ma-detain ang mga bata, no? Kahit yung mga bata who acted with discernment, pwede rin pa rin silang ma-detain, pero kailangan ng judicial processes at kailangan i-determine yan sa isang korte, which is the family court. Okay, so sinasabi dito na dapat ang bawat highly urbanized city at province meron dapat mga facilities just like the Bahay Pag-asa. And I think most of our provinces here in the Cordillera ay meron na. I know meron tayo sa Kalinga, Benguet, Abra, yung iba parang on the way or ginagawa pa lang. Okay? Kung wala namang mga Bahay Pag-asa, may mga private institution providers. Okay? So dapat 'yon, sana lahat ng LGU dito nasa budget nila 'yan, kaya dapat meron sanang mai-establish na mga facility. Okay, so sa law na 'yan, ang obligasyon ng DepEd as member of the JJWC is to come up with a policy to address the concerns of the CAR, which are the children at risk na maging CICL. So yung CAR is hindi pa CICL, pero possible na maging CICL siya pag napabayaan. And of course, yung ating mga CICL. That's why we have DepEd Order 18 series of 2015, which is our guidelines and procedures on management of the children at risk or CAR and the children in conflict with the law or tinatawag natin CICL. Meron na ba sa inyo na nakabasa ng ating DO 18? Yan, medyo mahaba-haba po ang DepEd order na ito, but it is necessary for us sa atin mga teachers ng teaching sa DepEd, lalo na sa inyo po sa ALS na kayo po ang may direct din or kayo ang frontliner natin pagdating sa mga bata na CICM at saka mga CAR. Because ano ang rationale bakit ang ating DepEd order ay ginawa, aside from ito ay isang obligasyon natin under the law, is that because of reports sa DepEd na may mga bata na nai-involve sa mga krimen like physical, sexual violence, mga gang-related or fraternity-related violence or crimes, drugs, alcohol, and other similar acts. And nung nakita, there is no integrated system within DepEd to respond to these concerns. So it is important for us to know the guideline. So here, it is mandated that DepEd is to issue appropriate guidelines. The aim of these guidelines is to assist the schools in the CLCs, yung ating community learning centers. Okay, because in management of these CICL and CAR. So ang vital role po ng DepEd dito is to prevent. Lagi naman tayo, di ba, sa atin, we believe in education that prevention is better than cure. So we want to prevent na ang ating mga learners ay maging CAR or maging CICL. Okay, so it is the responsibility of DepEd to prevent the CAR from to become children in conflict with the law. Kung unfortunately at meron pa rin tayong mga CICL, then ang goal natin is to facilitate reintegration to the school. Yung bumalik sila ulit sa ating eskwelahan at saka sa community at hindi na sila gumawa ulit ng krimen. Okay, so ito yung mga bad policy natin sa ating constitution. So alam naman na natin dito na because of our mandate as an institution, quality education and access. So yun, there should be no child behind. So lahat, kahit kriminal yan na bata or kahit hindi kriminal tao sa CICL siya, kailangan niya pa rin ipagpatuloy ang kanyang pag-aaral at matapos ang kanyang basic education. Dahil yan ay nasa ating constitution. And of course, sa ating yung ating ding commitment sa international conventions or agreement, mga yan, yung UNCR for example, is of course, it is utmost na sa atin, paramount consideration is the best interest of the child. That is to promote their sense of dignity and worth in every situation. Okay, so the law mandates that all education institutions to provide this adequate, necessary, and importante po ito, na hindi parang sa tingin ko, based on my observation, may kakulangan pa ang DepEd dito, yung individualized educational schemes for CICL and CAR. Ibig sabihin, yung kanilang module, yung kanilang is individualized kasi nga depende sa assessment ni social welfare kung anong klaseng intervention ang nakakabagay sa kanya, ganun din yung kanyang paraan ng pag-aaral. So ibig sabihin is kaya case-to-case basis, individualized siya. Hindi siya one fits all na module or curriculum or ano yun, kung anong tawag natin, or learning strategy. Okay? Okay pa ba? Naririnig pa ako?
Yes po, Attorney.
Okay. So of course, itong law na ito is in addition po sa ating mga laws or policies sa DepEd. Alam naman na natin yung ating child protection policy, yung DO40, at saka yung anti-bullying, DO55, at saka yung DepEd number 7, yung ating policy on fraternities, no, or sororities. So in addition to those, ito yung isa sa mga importanteng DepEd policy din sa ating mga kabataan. So ano ba yung duties and responsibilities natin in all governance level? So for central office, of course, they're more on the planning, policy making, monitoring. Yan. Sa amin dito sa regional office is that meron din tayong counterpart ng JGWC sa region, tinatawag na regional JJWC, wherein the director or the assistant regional director is the member. And then may alternate siya, isang supervisor. But for now, ang naka-assign na alternate ng regional office sa JGWC is yours truly. For the meantime now, hindi pa na-assign kung sino sa mga education supervisors natin ang magiging representative. Kasi itong bagay na ito, hindi natin siya masyadong tinitignan na legal. Pagdating sa DepEd, it is more on education. That's why mas maganda na ang mga EPS natin, yung ating PSDSS o ating mga school heads, ang mas marunong paano i-implement ang batas na ito. Dahil hindi siya actually masyadong legal. Dahil yung legal processes dito is nasa Department of Justice na siya. Pero pag DepEd ang pinag-uusapan, education talaga. Okay? So ito ang responsibility ni region. Of course, being a member of the regional JGWC, nag-provide po tayo doon ng inputs and ensure the implementation of these guidelines or procedures. That's why this month, naglabas po ang regional office, if you aware po kayo ng isang regional memo wherein kinonstitute po natin ang DepEd JJWC sa regional office, division, and even sa school. I hope you would know that, yung ating regional memo. Ano yung regional memo na natin? 298. So regional memo 298, series of 2020. Paki-review nyo po yon at sana mapa-strengthen natin yung ating implementation ng law na ito because of that. So meron na po tayong DepEd JJWC sa region, sa division, and even sa schools. Okay? So, obligasyon din po ng region na meron tayong database na kino-consolidate natin from the division, and kinukuha din namin yung data sa ating partner agencies just like the DSWD, the PNP. So, actually, meron naman tayong database dyan. That's why kung kinukulit po kayo ng ating division office na mag-submit ng database on CAR at saka CICL, obligasyon po kasi natin yan na isubmit sa JJWC at saka sa DepEd Central. Kaya huwag po sana kayong makulitan at makikooperate at ibigay ang tamang datos dahil yung mga data natin na importante na honest is makakatulong sa atin in policy making, making guidelines, etc. And even making appropriate curriculum. Okay? So, kami din ay mag-establish ng partners. That's why being a member of the RJJWC, nakikipartner po tayo sa mga members para mapaganda at mapabuti pa ang implementasyon. And of course, to monitor and evaluate the division offices. So for the division offices naman is sila ang laging nakiki-coordinate sa ating mga LGUs. Dahil sila ay member ng sinasabi nating multidisciplinary team or the MTD, wherein yung isang supervisor natin sa division dapat is very active na member ng ating MDT na in charge sa ating mga youth facilities just like the Bahay Pag-asa. So kung meron po kayong concern sa mga CICLs natin, hopefully, yun, kilalanin nyo po, maging partner nyo yung ating division supervisor or kung sino man ang dinesignate ni SDS na maging member ng ating MDTs. Ang function ng ating division office is more on training. That's why maganda rin po sana sa taga-DO na kasama natin dito kung meron man is institutionalize nyo ang pag-conduct ng training through the inset at saka sa ating mga TIPs or Teacher Induction Program na meron tayong ganito na regular para ang ating mga teachers, ang ating mga school heads ay nai-inform at nagiging aware sa ating mga policies at saka programs, no? And then yon mga capacity buildings, mga community outreach program, tsaka abot alam program. Kung meron pa itong mga programs na ito po yung mga programa or activities na we're in, pinag-uusapan din natin ang policy na ito. Maganda po na ito ay isang magandang sinishare natin sa lahat. And of course, to organize and conduct CAPB to the CPC, sa ating mga child protection committees sa schools and guidance counselors or guidance teachers in schools. Dahil sila ang frontline natin, importante na capacitated sila. So we are hoping that the division office will also consider this in their plans in the future na i-capacitate yung ating mga CPCs, guidance designates or teachers para alam din nila kung ano ang DepEd Order 18. Of course, maintain database, katulad din sa region, nagko-consolidate, kaya yun, kinukuha ang mga data sa inyo sa schools at nagbibigay din sila ng mga recommendations sa amin dito sa regional office. And then, of course, ini-ensure ng SDO na ini-implement yan lahat ng public and even the private schools, just like yung ating ibang child protection policies. And of course, campaign, tumulong po sa mga advokasya at mga campaigns ng mga LGUs at partners natin or stakeholders sa ating mga community para ma-prevent ang magkaroon tayo ng mga CAR or CICLs. Okay, and of course, meron po tayo, if may mga PSDSS po dito, you are aware of the implementation of the Comprehensive Local Juvenile Intervention Program na ito ay isa sa mga requirements sa pagiging seal, yung seal of good governance ng mga munisipyo natin. And the PSDS po siya ay isang member doon na laging nagbibigay po ng data on education para masabing mayroong good seal of governance, yung mga best, mga ganyan ang ating mga munisipyo. Of course, ito yung ating mga schools. So for the school heads, ating mga teachers, ito po sa ating schools, ang responsibility po natin is more on campaign on crime prevention. So from time to time, it is encouraged that you do some capacity building during the PTAs, during the faculty meetings, or even children, youth, mga advocacy activities na mag-advocate din on crime prevention. And of course, yun yung sinabi natin kanina, yung individualized educational scheme, sana capacitated, sana maging capacitated din yung ating mga teachers, especially yung mga nakikater sa ALS, sa ating mga CICL, sa youth centers, na paano gawing mas responsive at talagang akma sa kanila yung ating mga konteksto sa edukasyon. Okay? In cases for CICL are nasa Bahay Pag-asa, yun ang sinasabi, dapat continuous po yung pag-aaral ng bata under our ALS, okay? And of course, yung intervention program for CAR para maiwasan na sila ay maging CICL. And of course, yung training, yan, and submission of the reports na kailangan din natin na isubmit sa mga authorities. So, yun po. Meron pong mga annexes dun sa DepEd order. May mga templated na po lahat. So, hindi na po kayo problema sa mga formats or yung mga templates dahil naka-annex po sa law yun sa ating policy. Just fill in. Okay? So, for schools also, maki-partner sa mga organizations, for assistance. Yan. Okay. So ito po yung composition ng ating Child Protection Committee. I think alam nyo naman na yan. Pero dito sa batas na sa policy na ito, sinasabi dito na yung ating Child Protection Committee, may additional function sila. Yun po ay ang pagiging juvenile justice and welfare in the school. Yun po, no? So alam naman na natin, yan po yung composition ng ating CPC. So sila po ay tinatawag din na restorative justice panel under this policy, no? Wherein the panel along with the social welfare officer shall conduct the family group conferencing, no, under the guidelines. So yun naman po. Kung for example sa isang school meron po tayong identified na CICLs then or CAR na pwede nang maging muntik na maging CICL, then importante po na ma-constitute yung ating Child Protection Committee at mag-conduct po tayo ng group conferencing with the social welfare officer para po maiwasan, no? na magkaroon tayo ulit ng CICL or yung CICL natin is magawa ng isang magandang intervention program. Okay, so ito, although yung central office should be the one making the modules and then binababa, pero I just don't know if meron na ba tayong mga developed modules from our central office. Kasi dito sa region, we do not, I'm not aware of one. If meron man tayong dinevelop na module for CICL, no? So we are hoping na tumulong kayo na mag-contribute. That's why maganda rin na i-refer nyo yung ibigay nyo sa amin yung feedback na yun ang kakulangan para gawan po natin yan ng paraan. Okay? And then of course, yan. Sana yung ating mga CARS and CICL is ito yung isang magandang tinitrain natin yung specialized skills. Okay? Yan. Sa ating mga guidance counselors, I should say, yung specialized skills in handling various issues. So kung magandang may capacity building later for guidance counselors, maganda rin na ang isa sa mga kailangan nilang consider na topic is how to handle issues of the CAR and the CICL. And of course, in our schools, it is very important nga yung sinabi natin na ma-integrate siya sa ating mga activities and plans. So make sure our school heads na nasa SIP nyo at nasa AIP nyo para may karampatang programa at budget din yung pag-i-implement ng mga ganitong activities. But ang basic principle ng ating prevention and intervention program sa DepEd is child-centered framework lagi. Di ba? Lagi naman yan. Wherein we have to ensure that the child's rights is being upheld. Lagi po yan. Kahit saan pong anggulo natin tignan, lagi yung best interest of the child or the child's rights must be upheld. So in all matters and proceedings, yung child's rights shall be respected and upheld at all times. And dito, yung ating prevention and intervention programs, may 3 level po yan. Pero hindi sila hierarchical. It doesn't mean na ang first ang pinakakuan, ang third ang pinakamahirap. Kasi pwedeng individualized nga po kasi yung ating intervention. So pwedeng kung anong mag-aakma sa bata, just like if it's primary, secondary, or tertiary. Although may kanya-kanya naman silang mga goals at saka objective yung mga intervention na ito. Okay? So sa primary level of intervention, Ang ito is more on promotion, no? More on advocacy, promotion of social justice, equality, ayan, mga socio-economic, health, nutrition, training, education services. So here, ang mga strategies dito is, yun nga, through our alternative learning system and alternative delivery mode. Pwede natin gamitin under the primary intervention yung ating ALS. That is for us to make sure that we will reduce delinquency among our learners. Okay? Just like yung iba pang activities na I think meron na tayo sa ating mga schools, just like the PYDs or the Positive Youth Development Programs, creation of youth resource centers, mga youth congress, summit, forums, at saka yung mga strengthening activities natin for our child and youth organization. So ito po yung mga intervention programs na pwedeng gamitin natin sa ating schools, may institutionalize para maiwasan po ang pagiging CICR. Meron din po tayong parent-child integration program. Ito yun, yung ini-involve naman natin actively yung mga parents. Very important na active po ang parents natin dahil in the first place, they are the primary responsible to the disciplining actually ng ating mga learners. Okay, so school-wide behavior management program. Of course, siguro paulit-ulit nyo na itong naririnig yung ating positive discipline and non-violent approach of disciplining students. Okay? Value formation activities, life skills training. I think yung mga youth formation officers and coordinators natin sa schools, ginagawa naman po ito. So maganda po. Mga seminars, workshops natin, involve natin yung parents at ating mga learners. Yung secondary level of intervention is more on preventive din and protective. So medyo meron na siyang protective strategy or mechanism. So these are the strategies that assist the child at risk pa lang siya, hindi pa siya CICL, to prevent him or her to become a CICL. So dito is needs specific and age appropriate and individualized niya. So importante yun, no? So depende po sa assessment, depende sa pangangailangan, depende din sa edad ng bata. Okay, so it is very important the active involvement of the family and the community. That's why yung ating members sa MTD is a multidisciplinary team. Madami po ang iba't ibang profession, mga experts at saka representations ang nandoon. And it is important that the initial identification of the car is conducted always by a trained one sana, which is who is the guidance counselor or the guidance teacher. Meron naman siyang gagamiting tool provided na ng ating policy as an Appendix A. Okay, however, kung kailangan ng mas mataas na level of intervention, just like we need now the psychologist, the psychiatrist, or social worker, then kailangan na natin silang i-refer sa kanila. And of course, secondary pa rin po yung pagkakaroon ng isang intervention plan based on individual assessments. Just like ito po, so guidance counseling, ito po yung mga strategies, pwedeng peer counseling, behavior management program, anger management, conflict resolutions, parenting skills sa ating parents, and home visitation services sa atin, yung ating mga ALS teachers, kung nagbibisita kayo sa ating mga centers, sa ating, meron ba sa inyo naka-experience na magbisita rin sa mga jails? Yan, kasama rin. Mentoring programs. And after-school activities na mga extracurricular or curricular activities natin, wherein these concepts are also integrated. So, and of course, yung referral natin sa ating mga service providers, just like the DSWD, the PNP, and some NGOs. And any other interventions which may be provided by the LGU, of course, through their, lalo na if yung mga na-violate ng mga ating mga learners ay isang local ordinance. So yan dyan pa, ito pa yung mga iba pang secondary programs just like the youth organizations such as Pag-asa Youth Organization, faith-based organizations, etc. Okay. And yung iba, ginagawa is they involve a former CICL in self-help groups as advocates to give encouragement and yun, mag-share siya ng kanyang experiences when he was once a CICL and now become a successful individual. So may pag-asa kahit sa ating mga kabataan na nagpariwara or na nawala sa landas. Okay? So kasama din sa ating mga secondary intervention yung family therapy kasi nga kung yung ibang karamihan or most of the cases ng CICL is family ang pinaka dahilan kung bakit sila nagiging CICL. So maganda yung family therapy na isang pamamaraan para maiwasan. Or foster families, meron yung mga iba ina-adapt yung mga although hindi yung legal na adoption ito pero tinutulungan yung isang mga families para maka-cope up sa kanilang challenges sa buhay at para maiwasan na ang mga bata ay maging CICL. Ganun din yung mga ating drug education programs, yan, and then birth registration in barangays. Kasi may mga bata din pa rin pala na hindi siya registered, no? Walang birth certificate. Okay? Okay, yung sa tertiary level of intervention naman is more on remedial in nature and usually specific siya sa mga CICL. So here is to repair already the damage caused by the CICL. And then of course, for the CICL, para ma-restore yung kanyang well-being and ma-prevent na mag-commit siya ulit ng isang offense. So here, ang aim ng juvenile justice actually is to avoid unnecessary contact with the formal justice system. Kasi dati nasa DOJ ito, no? Pero nung nakita nila, medyo defective yung sistema dahil madami pa rin mga bata or minors ang nakakasuhan at even napupunta sa ating mga kulungan wherein it is not supposed to be. That's why when it is expectedly, if it is transferred now to the DSWD, ma-avoid sana ang unnecessary contact ng mga bata sa ating formal justice system. Yung talagang mapupunta sila sa mga korte and then later on, pag na-convict, mapupunta sila sa mga kulungan. Yun po ang as much as possible, yun na po yung last resort natin. Kung talagang wala ng ibang appropriate remedy or intervention sa mga bata, then should be the last resort. And of course, kahit sila ay na-convict, for example, kailangan pa rin yung diversion program and continuous rehabilitation, reintegration services sa kanila para kung sakaling ma-qualify sila na lumabas na, no? Then ready na po pa rin silang ma-reintegrate sa schools, sa ating community. Okay. So here, importante na ma-implement yung ating policy at sa atin sa DepEd, importante din we have to ensure that the education component of the individualized intervention plan, na individualized yon, should be prepared and implemented well. So para nga maging successful yung education ng bata and magagamit niya po yon pag siya po ay babalik sa community. Ready na po siya pagdating sa kanyang mga napag-aralan, sa kanyang mga trainings, then paglabas niya po doon, isa na siyang bagong panganak. Parang newborn na learner or na isang individual na ready already to be integrated in the society. Okay, so ito po yung mga third or tertiary level pa natin. Nasa atin lahat po ito. I believe you are more familiar with this program than I. Okay, so ang dami-dami po niyan, ano? So we have the ALS, the ADM, OHSPs, our PEACE, so yan, home study. Para ang mga ito nga halos ngayon mas na-enhance na ngayon because of the distance learning. Mas na-appreciate na po natin lahat ang mga ito na programs ng DepEd because of this distance learning na dati na natin ginagawa sa mga CICLs, ngayon, mas na-expand na siya kahit hindi sa mga CICL, just like our home studies and the ADMs. Okay, so heto po yung simple procedure ng management ng cases. In case na magkaroon po tayo ng kaso sa schools natin, na ganito, then ito po yung mga proseso. Okay, so reparation for the victim, importante po yun na yung biktima, mabigyan din po natin siya ng assistance at as much as possible, kung may damages, mabalik yung damages sa kanya. Reconciliation, importante din po na tayo po ay isang katulong para mag-reconcile ang mga families. Okay, yung victim, saka ng offender. And even the community na kasi kung offender ang bata, mayroon ng stigma sa community na wherein nadi-discriminate na tuloy yung ating mga offenders, no? Na, ay, dahil nga ubing kastoy, kasjay, which is, it is even harder to manage if already the community is the one who is stigmatizing or yon, no? Nagkukos ng stigmatization ng ating mga offenders or ating CICMs. Okay, so make sure that yung ating proseso is ma-reintegrate sila, yung nasabi natin. And then of course, yung community strategies din na nasa ating policies. So ito po yung ating mga procedure, no? Kung yung bata is at risk of committing a criminal offense, so hindi pa naman siya nakaka-commit pero may possibility na may tendency na po yung bata to commit an offense, then it is important for us, everybody, to report that the child is at risk. Okay? So pag na-observe na po ni teacher na ito, nako, medyo violente, baka later on makasakit to, makapanakit ng ka-classmate niya, then we have to report para nga prevention, no? Mag-prevent na natin. And then kailangan natin i-report yan sa ating guidance counselor or guidance teacher. And then of course, si guidance teacher, pag na-receive na niya yung information, magkakandak na po siya ng assessment. Family background, validation process, etc. Okay, so yan na po. Ipo-profile na po siya using our Appendix A na naka-attach, naka-annex sa ating policy. And then, gagawan po ng school head, ni principal, or ng ating guidance ng ating intervention plan based on the assessment tool. So, pwede ipatawag na yung ating parents or a case conference, ida-draft na po natin yung appropriate intervention plan with the consent of the parents. So, laging yung plan, yung paggawa ng intervention plan, kasama lagi ang parents sa paggawa ng plano. Okay, para katulungan din natin sila sa implementation. And then, when necessary, kung kinakailangang i-involve ang ating Child Protection Committee dahil sila naman ang committee or body na in charge dito, then we have to involve them. In the implementation, the fourth process is shall ensure that yung intervention plan na napagkasunduan ay ma-implement ng maayos. And kailangan pong i-monitor din natin yung progress reporting na sinasabi natin kanina na and then yung guidance counselor ay kailangan din mag-submit ng written report sa SDO through the school head para mailagay sa ating database yung ating mga kasong ganito, yung case management. So what if naman yung bata po ay at risk, tapos nakakommit na po siya ng status offenses. Ano po yung mga status offenses? Heto po is yung curfew, truancy, parental disobedience, anti-smoking, so violation ng karamihan ng ordinances. Ayan, may disorderly conduct, harassment, drunkenness, mga yan. Yung mga usual, vandalism, yan, gambling, trespassing, public urination, littering, yan. Halos ang dami, yan yung mga common. Parang kung nakikita nga natin, parang madalas yan yung mga common na nakukumit na offense ng ating mga kabataan or even as adults. Pero yan, so yan naman is intervention program is counseling at yun ang sabi natin kanina, group activities and parenting education seminars naman for the parents. So the Child Protection Committee of the school naman is report this to the guidance counselor or teacher again. And then magkakandak pa rin po sila ng assessment, etc. Yung katulad din ng kaninang procedure, basic po yon. And then kung kinakailangan na nating i-involve yung ating local social welfare officer or yung barangay child protection committee, then kung yun ang mas nararapat dahil may involved na dito, kasi local ordinance yung na-violate niya, mas magandang may involved po yung ating community tsaka yung ating barangay. And then yung family, of course, para make sure na ma-repair yung harm na nagawa ng car. And then car kasi siya, kahit may offense siyang kinumit, hindi siya pwedeng gawing CICL. Kasi nga, ang kanyang mga violate are status offense. When we say status offenses are offenses when committed by children, they are not considered as a crime or an offense. Pero kung tayong adults ang gumawa nun, crime po yun. Or pwede po tayong makulong. Okay? Okay, so here, sa level na ito, yung RJP, yung Restorative Justice Panel na yung CPC din po natin should hand in hand with our BCPC and LSWDO to monitor the implementation ng intervention plan para sa mga batang nag-commit or nag-violate ng mga status offenses. So what if there are offenses committed in schools which are very serious, katulad nung nasabi natin kanina na mga serious offenses? Ang unang gagawin po natin is of course i-report kaagad-agad yung ating mga kaso sa mga law of enforcers officers na. Kasi seryoso na po yung nangyari, mukhang mahirap, hindi pa tayo capacitated sa schools para i-handle yung mga serious offenses. So we have to report this immediately to the law enforcement officer sa Women and Children Protection Desk. Kung wala man, sa pinakamalapit na po na pulisya. And sa social welfare officer natin. So either sa ating social welfare officer or sa mga PNP na natin. Meron din po siyang separate na form dyan, yung Appendix B. Okay. So, importante, tayo, pag dinadala natin doon yung bata, or before natin siya i-refer pala, I should say, is we have to properly identify oneself and present proper identification to the child. Magpakilala tayo ng maayos at saka i-inform natin kaagad yung kanilang parents, guardian, yung social welfare about the particular incident na serious in nature. Explain natin sa bata in simple language so naiintindihan niya kung bakit kailangan natin siyang i-report or i-refer sa mga authorities. So meron din tayong isang intake form din dyan na kailangan, yon yung Appendix B, and then na isasubmit natin yan sa mga authorities. So the notification and transfer of physical custody, so importante po yun na pag itatransfer din po natin yung bata is kasama na natin yung parents. Okay? Or meron na tayong yung BCPC kung sila po yung mas malapit. Kung ang bata is above 12 years old pero below 15 at saka nakakommit siya ng serious crime, then mandatorily po sa bahay Pag-asa po siya makukumit. Hindi po siya agad-agad na pero kailangan pa rin yun, kailangan nandun yung parents dahil pipirma po sila ng voluntary commitment para makumit po yung bata habang na-investigate dun sa ating mga facilities sa bahay Pag-asa. Immediate po yung referral natin sa LGU, sa LSWDO, yun, nasabi na rin po natin. In case na neglected na yung bata, yung sinabi natin kung kailan siya neglected, considered neglected child. And then, pero kung ang bata naman is 15 years of age and below, ayan, parehas din po yan. Pero kung ang bata naman po is 15 years above but below 18, minor siya pero walang complaint. So walang complaint, or the victim or the parents do not want to go through the standard procedures provided, so the CPC shall provide I will convene, and then ang i-adapt na process is yung nasa section 16. Okay? And then kung drugs naman po yung case na na-commit involved sa drugs, then ganun din po, it shall be immediately reported po sana sa ating mga proper authorities. Okay? Pero it shall not cover students who are 18 years of age and above kasi at major age na actually sila, hindi na sila considered children. Unless there is evidence or document that would say that 18 years old sila pero ang pag-iisip nila is hindi 18 years old. So yun sila yung mga special children natin na yung physical or mental disability nila is hindi pang adult. Okay? So pwede pa rin ma-avail ng student yung procedures under here. And of course, yung I think the diversion plan includes always yung education component na sinasabi natin na nandoon sa ating individualized scheme, no? So the school head, kung meron na po yung diversion plan usually ginagawa din po yan ng multidisciplinary teams. Okay? And then of course, shall hold meeting with parents to discuss the diversion plan, how to be implemented. Kasi nga, although ang concern naman natin is more on the education component. So here, a report on the implementation of the diversion plan is must be submitted again to the division office for filing and record keeping, and of course for possible recommendations. No, ito po yung importante. Lahat po ng record ng CICL must be kept confidential in nature. Confidential po lahat ng dokumento, lahat ng proceedings. So yun po ang isaalang-alang po natin. Dahil pag na-violate po natin yung confidentiality dito, pwede po tayong makasuhan. Okay, so we have to maintain the confidentiality of handling reports and handling the children, and avoid labeling and discrimination sa mga CICL in the process. So bawal po na sabihin natin na daytoy nga kriminal, daytoy nga offender, daytoy nga manibro or inyata, nagtatakaw, etc. etc. Labeling po ang tawag sa kanila. So parang yung CICL, kahit yun na yung terminology sa kanila, medyo nakaka-discriminate din pa rin, no? Lalo na kung sa atin, alam na kung ano ang CICL. So as much as possible, confidential yung status ng bata na CICL. Dahil kaya siya juvenile justice dahil kahit yung bata, isang kriminal, kahit convicted pa siya, pero pag siya ay nakalabas na sa kanyang sentensya, mawawala lahat yung record niya. As if wala siyang kaso. Yun po ang end goal ng batas na ito. That's why confidential. So, kung very limited lang, yung mga involved lang na parties ang dapat na makaalam na yung bata is isang CICL. Okay, CICL have the right to education even while in detention. So, yun po. And then, of course, nasabi na natin yan, yung ating mga detention center. Ayan, so pwede na pong makabalik yung former CICL natin sa ating schools through regular enrollment or through our ALS after periods of confinement. Okay, so, and of course, it is our obligation to facilitate the return of the former CICL to the former school without, again, discriminating. So, hindi dapat nakalagay sa record ng school na dati siyang CICL. Okay? So yon, process of reintegration, DepEd has a very important role in that. And of course, yung child victim naman, it is important then that we have to give appropriate intervention also to the victims. Okay, so all the process, proceedings, or records dapat nakatago yan sa custody ni guidance counselor or ni guidance teachers to keep it confidential. So lahat ng mga paaralan shall submit to the SDO, no? Importanteng yung reports. Annually po yung collection ng reports natin every after school year. So hopefully, magsubmit lang po kayo kung meron po tayong mga ganitong data. Makakatulong po yan sa atin dito sa region and even sa central office. Of course, so the SDO shall consolidate reports. Ganon din po ang RO. Then we have to submit our consolidated reports to the RJJWC sa central office, sa ating legal affairs office. And Meron din po tayong template on reporting and recording. So don't worry po, may marami po tayong attachment or appendix or annexes sa ating DepEd policy. Nandun po lahat na. Hindi na po natin problemahin yung template or yung format. Okay, so so for private school, hindi masyadong stricto, but they are encouraged to promulgate their own JJWC policies and consistent with these guidelines. Okay, yun. Nasabi na natin yung confidentiality of records. So it is the solely only on the custody of the guidance counselor or guidance teacher, except if it is, the release is upon the express written consent. So pwede naman, basta may written consent yung mga parties. Okay? And then, or through a court order. Okay, yun. May kaso na, may na-file ng kaso, then pwede na natin siyang ibigay. Because an authorized disclosure of this confidential information constitute an administrative offense and shall be dealt with accordingly. Okay, so I think those are the important information sa ating policy.
Wow. Thank you so
Nandyan
much,
pa po ba?
Attorney Flora.
Nandyan pa po ba kayo? Gutom na po kayo? But
Yes.
I can still entertain naman
Na
if you
po.
have clarification or queries.
Wala siguro, walang query kasi attorney ang nagsalita.
Maliwanag na maliwanag.
Dinimanda ka kung dinimanda ka kung may query ka.
Hindi naman.
Attorney, dalang tibasit nga damagot, i-clarify ko.
Okay, sige ma'am.
Ma'am, you made mention nga, so I am thinking why we should observe confidentiality nga po ma'am, about our CICL. We have to observe confidentiality of handling records and status of our CICL into no rumuarda from if they are detained, talaga totally nga ma-erase or ma-delete the records da. So that they will be given a new start. Handa ka sa dakita na 18 years old and above, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. When ma'am kasjay. So nga kaslangay nga no nalpasod jay sentence da, may integrate dan jay community or may reintegrate dan yung kuna da reintegration kat adati kadwa jay court order to di jay nga ibagbaga na nga may cut, may erase amin the records na. That's why hanya appear when even in the NBI kasjay may cut amin. So even in our school records, may cut mo't lang dagi jayon.
Ay, may cut mo't lang school record mi ma'am garo di jay. They have done something nga po.
Yes. Or hanya kun numan depende no the court order niya. Ngam no award, just keep it confidential yung record na wala dapat basta-basta nakaka-access except the guidance.
So the guidance counselor should know better nga about this procedure garud piman. So thank you very much.
Even as that yung mga ALS teachers natin is yung mga kliyente nyo, wag nyong ipagsasabi na meron kayong mga learners na mga CICL na ganito ang naging mga kaso, etc. Tayo po ay covered din ng confidentiality na yon, ma'am, yung mga teachers natin, mga ALS teachers natin.
Even the formal teacher.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Anybody who had encounter with these children should not divulge the status, yung mga ganon, yung mga records nila, information about the CICL.
Ng attorney, for purposes of knowing we will be acquainted about this CICL. Siyempre mi nga maiwasan mga pag-istoryan but within the office nga mairward da ita tapno amo mi ati ibagbagami if others will be coming they will
That's why it
ask.
is important that maamuan tayo ngayon ng confidentiality. We have the obligation to say to anybody who is not a party or interested to say na sorry, we cannot give you any further information because it is confidential. Yes
Yun
po.
na
For
lang.
example, opo, yung estudyante nyo isang CICL dati again inquire about the status ti kaso na or again niya status na, you have no obligation to say anything about the child doon sa nag-i-inquire na kung sino man yan, no? Kasi nga confidential yung information, the proceedings, even yung education ng bata is part ng confidential record. So kung bumagbagsak ba, pumaspasa ba, as much as possible, hindi natin yan basta sinasabi. Or kung gusto man natin i-share yung experiences natin, yung kasulad ng kaso ng isang bata na under ko, make sure na it is anonymized.
No,
Na hindi siya ma-identify na example lang, example A, pero hindi dapat siya na-identify.
Okay, ma'am. Tama,
Yes,
guide
ma'am.
kami. Kasi
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am.
but in our school, the school head, the advisor, the teacher.
Yes, ma'am. Part pa rin yun ng confidentiality kasi dito sa policy, very limited lang po pwedeng may access sa information. Si principal, si guidance, at saka yung nag-report na personnel ng kaso. Ayun. Kung sakali.
And also, right, parents, ma'am.
Well, of course, kasama siya sa yung parents ng victim, yung victim, sila yung mga talagang sa kanila okay lang na yung information nagpo-flow sa kanila. Pero kung any other na chismis lang, gusto lang makarinig or hindi pwede. Kahit co-teacher man siya, kung hindi naman siya interesado masyado sa kaso or wala naman siyang involvement, then kahit mga kasama po natin, hindi po natin yan nire-require na ma-inform. Kaya sa amin din yung reporting, pagtitignan po natin sa amin, hindi namin alam, kikilala kung sino si CICL. Ang nakakarating na rin lang sa amin dito is ano yung na-commit na offense, yung number ng CICL, hindi po namin sila kakilala. Unless na ma-involve na sa kaso at ire-require na po ng authorities. Yun.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. That's clear. Clear as the sky.
Yes, ma'am.
Sige, thank you, attorney. Thank you.
Okay, any more? Kung meron pa po? Okay, kung wala na, then I think we are entitled to lunch break. At kakain na po tayo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, attorney.
Welcome po, ma'am. Thank you po.
Yeah. But attorney, in case may mga tanong pa later, can we still ask you po?
Ay, anong oras mo kayo magre-resume, ma'am?
1:30 na lang.
1:30? Oh, sige. I will, papasok pa rin po ako ng 1:30 mamaya.
Meron, sige po. Later na lang po siguro.
Okay, ma'am.
Sige po.
Thank you po. Okay, to be continued.
Happy break lang.